This week on Mob Rules.
I usually go for
This week on Mob Rules,
we talk about guns
and also other things.
No, that's about it. Yeah,
and
guns
orcs.
and orcs, and yeah, John gets teary-eyed about
all that and so much more on
Mob Rules
45.
Welcome to Mob Rules episode 45.
Is it really?
45.
That's one less than 46.
That is.
But one more than 44.
And 5 less than 50.
It's true.
Which is, we got to do like nothing special for that.
No.
50th anniversary.
50th anniversary episode. We'll probably finally finish The Beast Arises then.
No,
Whoa, wait a second.
That's going to be episode 500.
We said that we will do it, so we will not do it. It's like how it goes.
Reset the clock.
Yeah.
I'm John.
Hey, John.
Again by
Still
Ted, and
But also Phil.
because none of us traveled out of state in this last 2 weeks.
None of us are cool enough.
Yeah.
Ted, you're going to be away next episode,
Yeah, congrats.
right? So yeah, we're gonna. Oh, and this is the grand in studio return of Ted as well.
Oh yeah,
Because
that's right.
Last time
we
lost
you last time.
You were
Yeah.
live on location.
Yeah, live on location at
Right.
a car
I was-
repair shop or something.
A drop pod repair shop.
Repair shop. It's immobilized. Ew. But Ted, you're heading down to Adepticon.
Yeah.
What is our Adepticon this year?
I think it's the
18th?
22nd to the 27th or something like that, or
Something like
23rd to the 23rd to the 27th.
Oh man,
It's like 3 or 4 days.
so next episode that comes out, we're gonna be Ted's gonna be live from Adepticon.
I think the next one. Well, what I'm thinking is like
Adepticon.
I'm actually going to be in Adepticon on the 20. Our release date's the 27th, so I think like we'll probably have it pre-recorded for that. Then maybe we'll do.
Can we
Oh,
just
we could-
pretend
yeah,
that
we're definitely
you're-
gonna pretend
we're
like you're at
pretend that you're live from
Adepticon.
Adepticon.
Oh, okay.
What we'll
that
do is
sounds
we'll have
good.
you sit outside and,
it releases
and just
the
yell
Fri-
through the door.
Because it releases the Friday of Adepticon, so you're like,
Right.
yeah, I'm here. It's awesome. All this weird secret shit
So-
Games Workshop's announcing is great.
Which would be really cool because it'll release on after those meetings, so I can make up whatever I want and pass it off as those,
Yeah.
and it'll be legit because I'm technically in Chicago.
Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news from the future of the past.
They
of the
skipped
current.
8th edition and went straight to 9th.
Straight to 9.
Straight to 9th.
And they simplified it even further. Now it's just Pogs.
They turned it into checkers.
So what they did is you put a slider on your base, and you have like a really super shiny surface, and you just have to slide your minis across the board and
Yeah.
knock the other minis out of the way.
But you don't want to fall
Beyblade.
off the edge of it. Yeah.
Let her rip.
This sounds amazing.
Yeah. Get on that Games Workshop. 40K Beyblade.
Yeah. But we expect a cut of that.
Because
We
Jesus
expect
Christ, from what I remember
Yeah.
when I was a kid, Beyblade was so goddamn expensive
Was
anyway.
it?
Well, yeah, because like if you buy the one kit, this
Okay.
is me being a nerd here.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I was too old for this. I was,
He was
like,
already wanted to be a completionist back then.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and it was I bought them for my son as well. But I'm
Okay.
like, well, you need the better pin on the bottom for that, but that only comes in this kit.
Oh,
So you end up
wow.
buying like 4 or 5 ones to make the ultimate bay.
Whoa.
Was that a long route to make like a Beyonce joke there? or
No.
something? Okay.
It's your bay. The
Queen's
Beyblade.
The Beyblade.
It's your OG, which is now anytime anyone calls anyone bay, I just imagine little spinny discs,
Not Beyonce.
which defy physics.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm super stoked that you're getting to go down for that.
Yeah.
Jealous.
Yeah, Jelly.
Yeah. Warhammer's actually going to be Warhammer TV is going to be there.
Right,
Yeah.
again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mini Wargaming is going to be
Taking
there.
a class from Duncan.
Nice.
And then, yeah, hopefully we'll meet. Who else? I think there's
So
somebody
the
else.
I'm
Oh,
thinking
Andy
You should make
Smiley,
sure to
I believe.
make sure to bring him a blanket because he only wears a thin coat.
So I
Maybe
feel
I'm
Oh.
hilarious and original.
Wow.
I feel your painting class from Duncan
Yeah.
will be 2 things. The first thing they're going to be like, now that you've primed it black, remember to paint it Abaddon black because that's a different kind of black.
Well, he
And
does
then
something. He's Abaddon. That's right.
Abaddon. That's right.
Yeah.
And then the second
He
thing
says it
would be
wrong.
like, thin your paints and form a nice tip of your brush. What miniatures are we painting? No. That is all you need.
Yeah, that was 2 hours.
Go on to the world.
That
that's why
was
it's-
2 hours.
that's like a minute, and then he just sits there reading the magazine for
No,
an hour and a half.
he just sits there and stares at you. intently through the eyes, at the eyes.
As I twirl my brush.
Yeah. Or no, like you should have checked. The class is actually called the Tao of Duncan. It's not actually a painting class.
Or he's like Mr. Miyagi style, walking around the room with like a ruler. No, Victorian school style.
Oh, okay.
And like if your paints aren't thin enough, like thwacks your knuckles with a wooden ruler.
Little paintbrushes on the end.
Yes, I like that. Yeah, yeah. He just whacks you with like one of those large basing brushes.
Yeah. Start again.
Yeah. Your paint is entirely too thick.
I don't see points. Yeah. See, now I really just want to have a painting class where it's just like Victorian schooling style. I would be screwed because I would try and paint with my left hand. I would be constantly corrected.
I wonder if we get like Shapeways to do like latex masks, and you can have them do up a Duncan.
That is terrifying.
like a Nixon mask.
Like if you could organize it with the rest of the people attending the class, so
Yeah.
that everyone is just wearing Duncan masks.
Hella creepy. I want to go in a clown costume with a Duncan mask. My neighbor would be in like a nun costume.
So I guarantee what would happen then was he would come into the room, see you, and be like, "Please leave."
Or he would just walk in,
But if we
stop, and then turn around and walk away.
But if we get the whole class to do it, like he couldn't possibly turn away all that $5 is that we bring.
So
Don't you call the Duncan's bluff?
remember in school, like when you would come up with this awesome prank your whole class would do, and then you were the only one to stand up and do it, and you would get in trouble.
That sounds like it's coming from like too much self-experience over there.
I'm the only one that ordered a Duncan mask.
You guys didn't send the dimensions and get the custom order in time,
Of which I get 10% of the profit.
And just remember how aggressive Games Workshop used to be for its IP. Just imagine how aggressive Duncan would be about his personal life.
Cease and desist letter immediately.
Cease and desist. Please cease and desist my face.
You just met me. How did you have that ready?
Oh,
Our legal team works fast.
we listen to every 40K podcast out there. We had a heads
to
up.
us.
you would imagine, okay, imagine how terrible it would be if it was someone's job that he had to sit and listen to every 40K podcast out there. Yeah. That would be soul destroying.
There's a lot of bad
Especially by the time you get
podcasts
to
out there,
ours.
such as ours.
Such as Mob Rules.
Oh God, this one again.
All right,
It's the podcast Bell of Lost Souls describes as released this week.
Wow,
that's great.
High praise.
Bell of Lost Souls says it released this week.
Oh no, I'm not going down that salt line. Ted, you actually built miniatures again this week.
Yeah, so I did.
So tell us about that. You released an awesome video.
Yeah, well, almost. Oh wait, no, I
you
guess I did.
did? Yeah.
Yeah. There's the other video that I didn't release yet that I was trying to.
There's videos in the pipeline. It's videos on videos.
So
people.
part of the reason I'm using the multi-directional mic today instead of my own like Shure mic was that I was at work trying to upload the video. But
There is going to be at least two people who are like, man, Ted sounds like he's using the multi-directional mic today.
there's going to be like one guy.
Yeah.
And he's like a sound engineer who just happens to like 40K on the weekends. He listens to this and he's like, wait a minute.
It's
Is that
actually
a multi-directional?
It's actually our buddy Rob Porter. Yeah, I do a podcast too, and I know that's in a multi-directional with a sock around it.
It's going to be like those guys who comment on your battle reports, Phil, saying that your guys are out of focus. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You should have gone with a Canon 7D with the 80mm macro lens.
Yeah. It's like, listen here.
Nerd.
Yeah. Listen
Here
here.
are some
Please just keep watching.
some URLs to actual professional photos I've been paid for. Please tell me more about how to focus properly.
Oh, yeah. How many times have your pictures been in Newsweek? Oh, that's right. How many times has New York Times published your pictures? Oh, that's right. Yeah, come back to me when you've got something else there, buddy.
You know how much they've done for that? Once.
I think your penis is poking out the top of the table right now, Phil.
So I'm sorry, Ted. Yeah, you have a video coming up.
Yeah, so I got down and it was there's a lot of edits to it because I was doing like the builds, but at 78.4% it stopped.
Oh.
Okay, here's something I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
Don't try to delete it. All you have to do is re-upload the exact same
No,
file.
I'm sorry. I wasn't. I misspoke. I wasn't uploading. I was rendering.
Oh.
Yeah.
Premiere Pro and rendering right now and all my friends.
Yeah.
This is fascinating conversation.
I generally don't have a problem, so I had to go back into like the autosave files, and unfortunately, like it was about 740. Like, oh crap, the guys are together already eating food. And I'll hit McDonald's and use the multi-directional with sock. Like,
Fair enough.
with a filter around it to try and block out some of the noise.
I like to pretend that it was a sock.
Yeah.
It just looks like you're talking into a pile of foam and duct to a microphone.
Oh, see from the top, I just see like this like clamshell kind of feel. So it's like I'm talking into the Venus's vagina.
I kind of wish that we weren't wearing headphones so we could pretend like you weren't actually being recorded. It was just a piece of foam that we put on a stick.
Oh, that's
it's like a wooden spoon from the kitchen with just like a piece of foam.
Phil, you're ruining our plan to not have to be recorded.
Wow.
Yeah. But we're responding a lot to it, which would make it a really like weird podcast.
Yeah. As I'm editing it, like, wait, what?
Well, we always say
what's Phil saying this about?
We always say like our fourth person is always kind of our audience. And kind of the cool part of listening to us is kind of being like part of like the weird inane 40K chatter.
Yeah.
We have never said that.
We're taking I'm taking our feedback and I'm putting it out there. We're taking that to the next level by just like literally responding to people when just hoping that they're asking questions that make sense when we say things.
That is an interesting thought that the fourth person just had there. I agree. I agree entirely.
Yeah.
No, see, I agree.
I don't know. Green rings around the base.
Oh, dude, that's a
gotta.
Ted classic. That's a Ted classic right there.
So I did some models.
Yeah, you did some models.
Go back on track, right?
right. It's as though we never derailed. So yeah, I've been working on the Legio Custodes, getting all that stuff taken care of. I want to. Oh man, I was kind of holding off on getting Inferno because I know that's just going to derail me from my real project, which is getting to Adepticon.
Amazing.
Is it? Can I look through it later?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. And then also what will be coming out, I think I posted a picture on the Facebook page, is I got, I kind of went off and did like something non-GW, but slightly GW related. Blood and Skulls Industry does like mod kits for a lot of the vehicles. So I got like this Heresy era upgrade kit for the Rhino.
Oh, yeah,
nice.
I did see that. Is that like the more modern sized body for that Rhino, and just like with the mod kit to make it look like the old school one?
So you just take, because I've been going and buying like all these like Razorbacks because like for $3 more you can get like Razorback turret.
Yeah.
Sure.
You taught me that lesson, and I've wholeheartedly gone into it.
So I got that, but like the problem is like you can't go and buy the upgrade kits at Forge World. Yeah. So I go and buy them. Like I bought a couple of them just to see what they look like, and I think they look a little bit more like the old school Rhino.
You know, I literally thought it was the Forge World upgrade kit.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Forge World tank.
Yeah,
I thought it was an old school Rhino because I couldn't tell scale.
The quality's not as great, and it's like it's $20. So if you're buying the Razorback, which is like $37 or whatever, you get the upgrade kit $20. Now you're at $57. So like buying the Forge World would be a lot cheaper because you can get like 3 of them for like $120. You know,
yeah.
So not Razorbacks, but 3 Rhinos. They have that set for like £100.
I thought that was more than that for the 3 Rhinos. I thought, because I was looking at those as well, because I'm like, man, it'd be really cool to have some old school Rhinos. But then I'm like, I'm not paying that.
Yeah, last time I checked, it was £100 for the pack of 3, which I think you save like £6 because I think they're normally like 32 or 33 pounds.
Wait, their kits actually save you money? Wow,
Forge has good bundles. They have great bundles.
When they bundle plastic with resin, it's actually a really good deal. A lot of times, like for a while there, I was buying like the Land Raider upgrade kits. I think like you'd buy the Prometheus. You had the option. Like back in the day, like you could buy like just the resin, or you could buy like the complete kit. And I found that like it was actually cheaper to buy the complete kit than it was to go and buy like a Land Raider and then get the upgrade kit. So like, and after a while, like they weren't keeping up with inflation, and so like the plastic kit was going up in price, but like the Forge World like upgrades weren't. And so it became like for like a brief second, you could buy some of like the complete resin and plastics for cheaper than you can get the plastic.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
But that was a long time ago.
Oh dang!
And they discovered the internet.
Yeah. See, I'm like the only weenie who doesn't get like all of the Forge World plastic. I think the most I've gotten is a couple arms for my dreadnoughts to turn them into mortis.
I don't see the 3-pack, but the individual Rhino is like 40 pounds, 37 pounds.
That 3-pack was on there for a long time. Yeah.
True story. So when I first started ordering Forge World, I was talking to my wife, and I'm like, wow, I'm going to have to make it 250 pounds because that's free shipping. Mm-hmm. She's like, that's a lot of models for it to weigh that much. How much does that cost? I'm like,
comes in a fridge box.
I wish.
Silly Brits.
I have to say, if you look at the pictures of Ted's kit on our Mob Rules Facebook page, and also a YouTube video that I'm sure is coming up.
mobrules.com/Mob Rules AK. Or sorry, Facebook.com.
I like the upgrade kit better, I have to say.
Yeah?
Looking at the pictures now, like, because it has that old school kind of kick plate, like all the way along, whereas this one here, on Forge World's official site, their Mark IV Rhino is just kind of a shorter one. So yeah, I think it's a good purchase.
Yeah, I like the Forge World one, but I mean it's different. Like it doesn't have the nostalgia factor, but I think like if you're looking for like that old school Rhino feel, it's just not there. Like it, and I do agree. Like having that, like I mean, there's texture in the kick plate and everything, so Grandma can hold on a little bit easier. It's good. Yeah, I think like also they don't put the what is it? The headlamps aren't on the Forge World one.
So how are they meant to see where they're going? It's not like it's all in their helmets already.
I mean, it is the grim dark, not the grim light.
Oh,
I am on fire today. But I back onto this. I've got one of the old Whirlwind kits, which has the old Rhino chassis. And it's like it feels like it's like half the size
but 3 times the weight.
Yeah, it's like huge. And then it's
do you still use that?
Yeah, because and then actually I've started to take I just take the turret and I put it on like onto like a Razorback plate on top of my Rhino. And just be like, oh, this is pretty much it looks way better.
Win at all costs.
Yeah, exactly. That's
right there.
Wow, it's like the drop pod.
If I was winning at all costs, I would use the smaller one because it's a smaller target that they can shoot at.
That's like one step above like the was it the drop pod with the scrunchie on it to hold the doors closed.
The John Miller special.
or you can go with the Phil Hall special, which is just glue the doors closed because you hate having floppy doors that drive you insane.
I hate having floppy doors. It's a
problem of mine.
Unless you talk about his photography, but he's not floppy at all.
Solid New York Times photography.
None of this floppy out of focus crap.
It's a news day. Yes, it is.
No flaccid drop pods in Photoland. So anyway, but I think like also part of the cool thing about that kit is that they leave space in there for magnets. So it's actually, and I can't remember what it was, like the 132-inch or whatever diameter plates fit perfectly in there. Like there's hardly any gap. So it's like, and I think they also have like sponsons. So if you want to, you could just like you pop the door off the side, and then you have your sponson to make it a predator.
Oh, cool!
Yeah, nice.
That's really cool.
Dude, that's worth the money then if you can do all those easy
I was gonna say because magnetizing my predators was a royal pain in the tuchus. So
$20.
Yeah, that's way cheaper than like at my hourly rate.
So yeah, that was Blood and Skulls. I think the only place you could find them is on, as far as I could find, is on eBay. So if you look up on eBay, Blood and Skulls, and they have like weird names. I think that one was called the Ares pattern kit. So,
nice. I think it's all because of GW's crack legal team of the before times.
Oh yeah.
Of hey, you have a kid that works with our kid slightly? Sue. And of course, everyone's much better now. I actually ordered third-party stuff as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
God, look at you guys.
I know. From Cromlech.
Oh,
I actually
their stuff is really solid.
Yeah, there is really good.
So,
I do have some of that.
So after seeing Phil's wonderful models, I did order some Cromlech gravity guns. I'm sorry, gravity cannons.
Yeah, gravity
cannons. Is what it's called. So I have some of them on the way, and I also ordered a dozer blade for my Spartan.
Oh, cool!
I saw that.
Yeah,
they have such a thing just for the Spartan.
Yeah, just for the Spartan because the Spartan has like a door that's like right in the middle, so it's like 2 dozer blades that are attached to the side. It looks rad as shit.
Yeah,
dope.
But yeah, I'll probably post up some pictures of that when it
I often look at my fecal matter and be like, "Yo, that's rad."
It's super rad. But I'm excited for that to come in because I mean, it's nice to have everything represented on your tank.
Yeah,
especially because like they give you the option in 30K to like add a dozer blade to your Spartan. Where you're like, okay, but where the fuck did the guys get out there?
Well, the thing is like my Spartan has a dozer blade. It's just made of cellophane or Cellarap or whatever it is they call it.
Ceramite.
Yeah, you just can't see it because it's cellophane.
So I have that on the way.
I accidentally ran over an Evisor assassin, so now his suit got caught on there, so you just can't see it.
Supernatural reflexes.
The Cameline suit got stuck on my. thing.
So all you have to do is like put like a skull head thing on the front somewhere.
Exactly,
Like,
exactly.
It's the part that's not.
Yeah, counts as dozer blade that ran over Eversur.
I like it. Lots.
So on top of that, and kind of like the last of my 30k stuff here, I did order Inferno from Forge World.
Oh, cool.
At the same time, one of our buddies, Sterling, got in an order with me and ordered a Fire Raptor.
Oh, I heard about that.
And then when it arrived, there was 2 additional Fire Raptors in my box. So it was literally, so I got 2 free Fire Raptors.
Which, that's like $240 just for free. Like,
it was
here you
literally like there was extra space in the box. So it was like, we can use packaging material or we can just put more Fire Raptors in. And they were like, okay, put more Fire Raptors in, I guess. Because I emailed them.
We got to get rid of these. Nobody's playing with Fire Raptors.
I emailed them back and I'm like, hey, so I seem to have 3 when I only ordered and paid for 1. Like, well, thanks for your honesty. There's a couple of options. We can't pay for you to take them back. I'm like, really? Why not? You would make so much more money on this if you sent me a UPS label. So they're like, I had 2 options of either keeping it with their blessing or returning it to my nearest Games Workshop store if that's convenient. I'm like, well, that's in Canada, 1,300 miles away. So thanks for the air support, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the blessing.
Yeah.
Take option 1.
So Sterling got 2 Fire Raptors for the price of 1.
Nice.
And I kept 1 for myself.
Which second
It's
one?
a finder's fee.
Finder's
one
fee.
Raptor finder
One
fee.
Fire Raptor, but now I have to build a Fire Raptor.
Oh, I'll give you $10 for it.
I also came into
Didn't even respond.
No,
Like, that's
that is
you
not,
don't even deserve a fuck off.
that is not even the worst offer that we made for that. I also received a bunch of Tau. I made a trade. My giant Hierophant. I traded that to Sterling again, and so yeah, I got all of his Tau, which I don't know what I'm going to do with, but I have it now.
Nice.
There's like 30 stealth suits, a squad of fire warriors, and 3 squads of pathfinders.
Nice.
And then all of the tanks.
Nice.
Wow.
But they're really shittily assembled and put together tanks. I don't really know. That's going to go in the back burner. I'm kind of getting like hobby overload right now because I have like so much stuff.
Well, we have a new display case coming up to you in a few.
We do, yeah. I'm starting to clear out a corner behind you there for that there. But yeah, so like mainly what I've been working on this past week is like kind of really focus down on what I want to do. I've come up with my new competitive list. I'm very happy with.
Is it Yanari?
No,
Legion of the Damned.
no, I'm not a fan of Inari or the Inari.
You just got burned out on Soulburst, didn't you?
No, I mean, like from like everyone who complains about Soulburst, which is literally everyone.
Literally.
Like all the things I've had is like people talking to me about, oh man, well I'm going to Soulburst, and then once this unit dies over here, then my Wraith Knight's going to come up and do this, and I'm like, hey man, is that Wraith Knight within 7 inches of the dead unit? Well, no. I'm like, okay, so. With the Inari, I mean, they're great if you have your whole army bunched up together. Like the only way I can see it really working is
castling up.
If you either castle up or if you have like one big prime unit of jet bikes surrounded by min-size units all the way around it. So whenever one of those died, it triggers the guys in the center. Or if you have...
That's an awesome idea.
So yeah, you have like a max squad of 10 in the center shielded by everyone else.
Yeah.
Or if you have Ivrin in a Seer Council, so when a Psyker dies around her, she gets an extra Psychic level, but the powers really aren't that great. So I'm not enough to lose objectives secured. So part of the reason I'm getting the grav guns is I'm gonna add a Skyhammer in there.
Skyhammer and Eldar?
Skyhammer, Ulthway Strike Force, and an Eldar CAD.
I think I just threw it in my mouth.
Yeah, it was like, here, let's get some sharp cheddar on that cracker. Can we put a little bit of brie on top of that sharp cheddar?
So this is straight
Limburger. Yeah, we'll put some Limburger and then some Dubliner on top of that. God, I need some more cheese. What can I do?
And, well, because there's
Velveeta all over it.
Because there's 4 units of 3 jet bikes with scatter lasers in that Ulthway Strike Force, they all arrive turn 1 via deep strike. So
definitely threw up a little in my mouth.
Says the guy I learned Skyhammer from.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, world.
I bought a Void Shield generator, and I
built it and
and painted it.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I forgot about that, and it's honestly it's
early on.
One of my
2 weeks.
favorite models I've ever assembled.
Really?
It goes together so well. Like no complaints whatsoever. I mean, I really wish I'd gone back and filmed it, and I'm like, oh fuck, I really should have. But like the way the towers go together is so satisfying.
Is that like the same kind of plastic that they do with some of their other Is it like the sprue type stuff that they usually
sprue.
have, or is it like the plasticky stuff that they use for like the
sprue.
obliterator? Plus
Right, no, it's all sprue.
Okay.
And it's all like good quality plastic sprue. And like I said, the way it goes together is so smooth. And it's so great. There's like zero mold lines. There's zero issue. Everything lines up and fits together perfectly. It's as a kid, I cannot recommend it enough. It's a pleasure to build.
That's dope.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I need more pleasuring in my life. I'm gonna pleasure myself with worship.
Moving on. That's awesome.
Phil,
Yeah.
what you been up to?
I've been. I painted up some assassins. So I painted up.
Look pretty decent.
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
good.
no,
right?
yeah, they look dope,
those
man.
good.
Yeah.
I was pretty stoked at how they came out. I painted up an Eversor and
Eversor.
Eversor.
Sir.
Isn't it OR?
Eversor.
Isn't it OR?
You just said sir earlier.
No, Eversor.
That's what I said. Eversor.
No, you're saying Eversor. You say Eversor.
You just said it like 3 different times, 3 different ways.
I literally think you just said it the exact same way.
No. He said it 3 different ways. Evasur, and he said Evasor, and then Evasor, sour.
Eversor assassin.
Eversor.
Evasir. Evasir.
Like dinosaur?
No. Eversor. Yeah, rawr.
It's like a dinosaur that lives
You're
forever.
my tiny hands. Now I really want to
Evasaurus.
Yeah, Eversaurus Rex. Anyway, I built one of those. I painted one of those, and I painted up the Calexis.
No.
Oh my god, I hate you so hard.
Saliexis.
Yeah, Calexis.
It's a cuck Lexus because it sits in the corner and watches everything else get fucked.
Jeez.
That's kind of what she did on my, he did on my during my when I took him with the tournament. He kind of just like came on the board turn 2 from reserves and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep trying to do something," but everyone else ran away, so I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Kind of stuck over here.
Oh man, yeah, I was at that tournament too. I did like the worst in a while actually. I was like straight across the board, 1-1-1.
Wow,
Win, loss, draw. It was very boring.
Yeah,
that was an intense tournament though, Phil.
Super intense. That was the hardest draw I've gotten in a tournament up here, I think, ever. You know, the first round I had John Miller with like a super hard counter to my list, with the 3 sky raisin formation that they have, where they can come in turn 1 and then like basically fly on together and then deep strike their dude bros inside without having to scatter them, which is pretty crazy. Or no, they do scatter, but they can deep strike first turn or something. I don't know. And then he has bullshit. And then he had like.
If you ask him, he'll tell you it's the worst formation in the game and how it's all trash.
Yeah, but
he wins with it.
Yeah, he tied me the first round because I had a guy hit and run on the last turn onto an objective to tie it up, which was pretty sweet.
Nice.
I was pretty happy about that. And then turn 2, I played up against Danny and his 1,000 Suns with the a bunch of 1,000 Suns, and he also had like the Lord of Change, the big Lord of Change. That looks like a super sweet model. He hasn't had a chance to paint it up yet, but it looks super cool. Really cool looking model. And I won that one, and then I went up 3rd round against Joe with his Brass Scorpion of Doom,
Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, Mr. Krabs, and had that 3rd round and managed to win that one too. Came in 4th, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm liking my list. I might change it a bit. I don't know if I'm going to go with the Calexis. I might go with a Calidus, maybe. I'm thinking maybe to mess with people's reserves
on my list. It's pretty good. The only issue is if you're smart about it, it's easy enough to counter because it's -3 to your first reserve roll.
Yeah.
On the turn that she comes in. So
No. It's -3 to the opponent's first reserve roll at all.
No.
It's at all.
We're going to argue about this. I'm going to check it out because I looked at it. Is turn 1. If she deploys on the board, it's -3 to the reserve roll, or it's -3 the turn she comes in.
Maybe I thought it was.
Anyway,
I thought the snap shooting rule on her, like the snap, because the first turn that she's on the board, all the enemy have to snap shoot and hit a ballistic skill 1 when or like shoot.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the first turn she comes in, but the reserve one is limited.
Oh,
because I was kind of like I took her and I hadn't read the rules right, and I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah. But it would be interesting to have her like the first turn with so many people bringing null deploy lists now to really, really screw with someone.
But again, the problem is it's only one roll, the first roll.
That's true. But that first turn, they usually only have like the one roll that they make.
Yeah.
Well, if it's coming in first turn, more than likely they're not making a roll, right?
Well, John Miller's does. It can start rolling turn 1. Same thing with like the Nemesis Strike Force.
The all-way Strike
Force. Oh, right. A
the
lot of formations are doing that.
Yeah,
Okay, that's right.
They can start rolling turn 1.
All the cool formations do it.
Oh, okay.
At least it would try to make them maybe think about null deploying, which is nice because then my list is null deploy and auto comes in turn 1 and turn 2. So
just start the game with the drop pods on the table.
Yeah.
We just carted these in.
Exactly.
Drag in the drop
I'll just
pod.
have to model dollies on them.
Yes.
As I'm rolling up.
These with just like a whistling marine.
Yeah,
walking
exactly.
by.
Yeah, I'll just have like a bunch of models. I'll mod like cultists so that they look like production assistants with like headphones on, like as they're rolling it on.
Okay, so I Google Calidus Assassin rules because I'm like, the first thing that comes up is Calidus Assassin Rule 34, and I'm like, oh, god damn you, internet, Rule 34. Yeah.
If I had my phone on me, I have the codex.
I was gonna say, do you have the
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Like,
this is whatever it is. Yeah. If you don't you have the.
So how did the game
Oh,
go? How did the game go?
If your army includes Calidus Assassin, you can re-roll the dice when attempting to seize the initiative. In addition, your opponent suffers a -3 to the first reserve roll he makes during the game.
Ooh, unless it's a
That's what I
she,
said.
then they're not affected by it.
That's literally what I said.
Sexist.
So
But it's
I was
only
right,
the
John.
first roll.
Yeah.
And only if you're male.
Yeah. Anyway, who gives a shit?
Sexist.
Well, I do because I was right.
And you have a vagina.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah. So I'm trying to figure out because now I have all 4 assassins. I haven't painted up the Calidus, but so I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with that.
Vindicator, bro. He's
Man,
good.
He is good, but he's
It's one shot.
failed me.
It's-
He's
yeah.
failed me so many
Also, he
times.
doesn't really have a place in your list, but
No,
aside from that,
he really has 0 place on my list. The rest of my list is all null deploy, and then he has to like sit in a
I think
bush
it-
somewhere
so
and hope he
this
doesn't
sits in
get
a bush.
destroyed.
The
first
Calidus
turn.
was in like almost all of my lists for a long time. Like when I played Imperium, but that was like
Really?
back when like she had the Satan phase sword that would go through all saves.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and that was hell. And you just
I
like
think
you
she
put her
now
down.
has it where it's like on 6s.
Yeah,
she
it ignores the invulnerable.
ignores the invulnerable, which is
Yeah.
pretty baller.
Well, yeah. Before it was just like
Yeah.
fuck it, like cut through everything.
Yeah.
And she could attack the first turn she comes in.
Oh, that would
so
be
that was
cool.
nice. And I
Yeah.
think it like her neural shredder was like I think it was. Oh, you rolled a. I think the strength was 8, and your toughness was your leadership. So you went up against like Grots. Just like eat them. I mean, I don't know why you're spending that much time.
because I literally have the first Assassin Codex here.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay, cool.
Man, I want to run that one.
Yeah, technically
That's the one I wanna roll.
the problem with it now is that there's no AP on that weapon.
Also, if you can run that, I want to run 2nd edition Tyranids. It's only fair.
So
what else have you been
Anyway,
up to?
that's great.
What else have I been up to? Not a much. Well, I guess I
Have you
finished.
been
I don't know if
showering
I-
lately? Have you been
Nope,
cutting
none
your
of that.
hair?
No, I
or-
did that.
Yeah,
but I
looks
haven't
good.
been showering.
All right.
No, I have. I don't know if I told you guys I painted up a bunch of Death Watch, so I increased
Okay.
Death Watch because now I actually have guys with bolters. I don't know if I said that to you guys. But
Why would you have guys with bolters when you can take frag cannons?
Because the thing is, it's like I can pay an additional 25 points onto this 22-point model to give him a frag cannon, and he's only a 3+ no invuln same guy. So all of a sudden, it's like anyone looks at him, and it's like, well, that was a whole lot of points there. So at least now I've got some bolter guys to take the wounds before they get to my frag cannon.
As John's 2 fire raptors come in.
Yeah, Phil, I'm playing against you, not with you.
Yeah, why would you take bolter guys when you can take 30 different fire
It
raptors?
costs 18 times as much.
It actually cost you 0 if you do it right.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Forge World. No,
Yeah,
the
lads.
funniest thing about my Forge World order, okay, is okay. So like the Inferno book and the Fire Raptor came to like 200 pounds or something like that.
That is heavy.
And God, stop.
Cereal.
Die. So like I'm like, do I want to spend an extra 50 pounds and get something else and get free shipping? But then smart me was like, no, I don't need to spend 50 pounds to save like 30 pounds. So I didn't.
But you wouldn't have the product.
So
anyway.
I didn't. So then when it arrived, my wife was like, "Oh, this was all $250," and I'm like, "Oh no, it was less." And she was like, "You didn't get free shipping?" I'm like,
Damn it.
she was like, "You would have bought some shit later anyway." And I'm like, "Well, yeah. but
That's not the point.
that's not the point.
That's not the point right now.
Right now,
I
and I'm
just
trying to cut down."
I just realized why you got those 2 fire raptors for free because they were probably looking at the order and be like, no, this doesn't make sense. It's less than 250 pounds. It doesn't make sense. We must have screwed up somewhere. We obviously screwed up somewhere. And they threw in the extra fire raptors because like that's really what he meant to do.
I mean, what else
but
would
we
you
screwed
use
up.
as packaging? Well, and one of them was really so. I opened one of the Fire Raptors and it has like a really fucked up side portion, like it was super bad and everything. But I'm like, I can't complain about.
No,
this.
you cannot.
Oh no.
Or what you could have done is you could have given that one to Sterling, who actually paid for one.
So
then he could have complained.
So
about
I
it.
gave Sterling one, and I was like, I'm going to hold on to the other 2 until I hear back from Forge World. So I hear back from them, and he comes and picks up the other one. I'm like, okay, this one's mine. I open it up, and I'm like, fuck.
You got the jacked
That's the
one.
worst one. Yeah.
Oh well.
So, oh well. But
Yeah.
it's easy enough to fix. Hot
Yeah,
water.
holler.
Hot water and love.
Uh-huh.
Hot water and love.
So yeah, but that's basically what I've been up to.
And you got on Twitter as well.
I did get on
I'm
Twitter.
very excited about that because I'm
That's
someone
right.
I can bullshit with on Twitter.
Exactly. I finally tweeted back at you from something you had tweeted at me like 5 months ago. Yeah,
months ago, and more recently as well.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So
ADT
I figured if
security.
the president can do it, I can do it, right?
Oh,
So I've just got to wait till 2 a.m. so I can go on like
just
a Twitter
read the
page.
new Inari rules.
Sad. Fake news. Fake news.
Fake news. Fake army.
Can't soul burst. Fake news.
Soulburst.
sick.
Just read Soulburst rules. Sad. Fake army. MAGA.
This cipher guy's a loser.
It's not very attractive.
Yeah.
This Celestine.
Yeah. Gilliman is huge. He's huge.
Oh man, yeah, Robot's coming out.
Yeah. Pretty excited about that.
I'm very excited.
I was watching it was the Bulls unboxing on that thing, and holy shit, there's so much to put on him. And like,
Really?
it's just, I think that guy alone is going to be like, I don't know, a pound in plastic.
Yeah, he's ridiculously huge. And rules-wise, super balanced as well. So
I thought he looked pretty good.
360 points.
350.
350? That's not much.
No,
That's not
but
much.
he's a monstrous creature, and he's got like
he's not an independent character. He's
Yeah.
a character.
Okay.
There's a couple special formations where he can look out serve for units nearby him, but it's still only a 4+. So like I said, the nice thing about him, and like I haven't heard
and
anyone
he can come back every turn. Potentially.
I haven't heard anyone complain about him. I've never heard. No Ultramarine players are going to be like, "Oh man, he's really shit." No non-Ultramarine players are like, "Oh man, he's OP." Everyone's like, "Wow, he's a really good balanced model."
Yeah.
So
people complain about him being a monstrous creature, but that's about it. That's about
get
it.
the fuck. Oh, you mean the 6-moon monstrous creature who can come back every time he dies?
Yeah, I mean, granted, he is like he's moving 6 inches, running D6. He has a 24-inch assault rifle or assault cannon.
Assault rifle.
Yeah. Halo.
Yeah, he's not. You just kind of ignore him, like kite around him with your 30 jet bikes.
Literally run circles around just for fun. Yeah, just for fun. Just like actually run
I think
circles.
you'll find my new list only has 12 jet bikes.
Only 12.
Only 12 jet bikes.
And a Skyhammer.
And a Skyhammer. And
Well, if you
Elder
can sleep,
Rangers.
if you can sleep at night, that's fine by me.
I sleep
Whatever
very
you want.
well. I sleep well. How do you sleep, Phil?
I sleep perfectly fine
Wow,
with my
Right.
green Ultramarines. I might paint up
Gilliman
Gilliman
blue?
as green so I can run him as my green Ultramarines.
paint him as the lion.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Lionel Johnson.
Lionel Johnson. Not to be confused with Robo Gilliman.
Oh, and then when you're doing like use them for your bad reports, and then whenever you use them, like show them the rules page, but just really badly cross out Robu and write Lionel.
Cross out Ultramarine and Rot Fallen.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Dark Angel. Sorry.
No, he agreed with you. He agreed with
No,
you.
he didn't.
said,
Son of a
That was
bitch.
really good.
Son of a
I
bitch,
like that.
Ted. You son of a bitch.
I want to say
Kill you so hard.
thank you to the record numbers of you who came to listen to me just babble on about Eldar last episode
Yeah,
too.
it was good. It was good.
It was good. So there will be more coming. With
John's gonna do the all Eldar podcast from now on.
Welcome to the
Eldar
Eldar
Rules.
Rules podcast.
Welcome to the Eldar Rules Understanding podcast. Today is about Soulburst. Our running time is 4 hours 17 minutes, and then part 2 will be our next episode.
I'm co-hosted today by Sock Puppet 1 and 2, also known as Phil and Ted. You're amazing,
Excellent adventures.
But I think what we're going to do next time, guys, and now bear with me here.
Right.
Each of these books is broken up into 3 fluff sections.
Okay.
So there's like a beginning, a middle, and end, part 1, part 2, part 3. It might be fun for people who don't want to just sit and listen to me talk for 2 hours. We split up the workload a little bit there.
I was okay with you doing all the work. Honestly. Us teasing you was pretty good.
Yeah, I say we take a vote right now. Who says John just does it all? All
I
right, the ayes have it. So sorry, man.
No, I'm actually
2-1.
pretty-
This
I
is,
have-
Mob Rules is actually a democracy.
well, I got the house taken care of, so now I have a tenant in there. So,
congrats,
so at
man.
least there's not that. I'm not spending every single night till
thank
1
God.
in the morning, like, the damn plumbing broke again. Oh man.
No, now you're just getting texts that the damn plumbing broke.
Oh, I know already. It's like, you guys only been there for 2 days.
Hey,
You're already
sink's
bitching about
clogged.
the plumbing.
So,
Yeah, I have Roto-Rooter coming tomorrow. Like, literally.
Hey,
Fuck.
hey, for some reason, I was like carving potatoes in the sink, and I cut all of them into quarters and put them down the sink, and the sink is blocked, and I don't know why.
I was just trying to clean up, so I put the towel down the drain as well to soak up some of the juice.
Also, I punched a hole in your wall.
Fuck my life.
This hole was here when I got here.
No.
No, I'm pretty sure it was here when I got here.
I think I want to talk about Gathering Storm Trace sometime soon as well, because like I said, I am super enjoying these books.
Yeah?
I guess when this comes out, it comes out tomorrow.
Yeah,
but
it comes out tomorrow.
We can do this.
You know, if there was a
if you're listening to this when it first comes out.
If you are listening to this and you are a store owner who wants to give us early copies of things so we can talk about them, then that would be fantastic.
Oh.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please do. I like early stuff that Ted can pay for because he has the time now.
Shit. Well, after the Roto-Rooter bill, might
if
be
you want to
month.
give us
And then,
free early stuff, that's even better.
The dream.
yeah.
The dream.
Oh, excited.
Okay.
So let's call it, huh?
Yeah, let's go take a break.
All right,
Yeah,
well, that's been episode 12.
Have a good day, people. And,
No, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about guns. I really wish now I had some kind of like soundboard with like a US in the background.
Yeah.
I might get that during the break. But we're going to talk about
You can send it to me and I can add it in.
guns of the 41st millennium. That's really good.
Oh my god. Oh, that's you. That's your mouth.
That was really good. That was Phil's mouth, everyone.
John, you want to become a Foley artist? What you should do is put Phil in a box.
I mean, I could.
that's all I can do is guns and cats.
Stick with the
Track 2 is cats. Track 3.
I got nothing. Sorry, people.
Track 3 is awkward funeral music. Track 4. Track 4 is... I don't know what
That was a trumpet.
that was a trumpet.
That was a trumpet. Let's go back to track 1. I can do that. I can do a gun sound.
That is Phil filleting a line, tiny man.
There's gonna be an entire folder on our episodes track that's just Phil's mouth.
Just my Foley work.
Episode 45 will not be called Phil's mouth noises.
Oh god, we're gonna have 0 downloads.
I want to hear meat hitting the counter. Can you do meat hitting the counter?
just slapping his freshly shaven face. I can't do it. It's just like covered in hair.
Yeah, I shaved. Right. Bad. Anyway, yeah, we're going to be back. We're going to talk about guns.
Right. Guns.
You can hit stop.
Fear consumed my every waking moment. It wasn't rational, but there it was, ruining my life. Then one day I came across a book called How to Be a Cheating Asshole. From the very first chapter, it helped me to confront my fear head on. In a world filled with easy answers and cheap solutions, How to Be a Cheating Asshole showed me that the way out of my despair was to use loaded dice and not declare what I'm rolling. Its message was so strong and so real that it put me on the road to a happier, more fulfilling life. And it made my fear a part of my past.
Stop by your local retailer now for a copy of How to Be a Cheating Asshole. Also available in audiobook, read by somebody who only sounds like Donald Trump.
Let's see, a quick break, and I can find appropriate music.
Oh, it was a quick break.
It was very
really
quick.
like half an hour.
This is literally every single thing I found on YouTube has a very disturbing slideshow that goes with it. If you are on YouTube and you make American songs with slideshow backgrounds, please reconsider.
Oh God!
What you're using as a background.
Oh,
This
God.
is the what looks like the Constitution.
One of the
with an assault rifle and a musket on top of it.
And an American flag and the also an older American flag.
I think the biggest atrocity there is how they decided to crop it. They didn't seem to use Photoshop, but
They just kind of like deleted around some of the background.
with the block mask tool.
Yeah.
But we have this beautiful song.
Yeah.
This is a very famous song in the United States to our international audience because we're talking about guns.
We're gonna get so much hate mail.
Good thing we don't have our comments enabled.
This is what we get for putting a foreigner in charge of the music.
If you would like to hate our podcast, please go to facebook.com/like Bob Rules.
John, you're gonna have like an ICE agent at your door by the end of the week.
I don't see what's negative about this, though. I mean, it's just me.
So anyway, our next segment is about the underused guns of 40K?
Or guns of 40K, because mine are very commonly used.
Are you just doing the bolter?
Yeah, bolter, heavy bolter.
Bolter, heavy bolter, and last.
Well, we did say if you said commonly used, that's not the heavy bolter.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, underused guns, the heavy bolter.
It's the obligatory.
Anything not a grav gun.
A regular bolter.
A regular bolter.
Weapon destroyed.
Also known as the weapon of the ablative wounds.
There we go. That's
all right. So we each picked a race.
Yeah,
so
we each picked a
heavy
race.
bolter was not your race.
No. Well, it could be back in the day, right? Rogue Trader. Everyone had everyone else's guns, like dirty STDs.
Yeah. That was kind of neat. But you had to like roll on a chart, didn't you, in order to like find them? It was like more of a role-playing game than
there
it was.
There was Marines with shuriken catapults.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was even models for those guys.
I don't remember. I vaguely remember the idea of it, but I don't
they're
remember
those sweet kind of 2D ones where everyone looks like an Egyptian drawing.
Oh, yeah. Right. And everybody could be like, you can clip the little tab off the bottom and put them on a horse. Everybody's riding saddle.
Because they're all split-legged.
Yeah.
Ted, what faction did you choose?
So I went with the Orcsies, naturally. So,
of course.
What?
I went.
I jumped on that
be
fast.
Complaining. You jumped off the orc truck a while ago.
That is true. That's true. I jumped off it because it dies to bolter fire.
And how?
I picked my newfound friends, my Aldari. And I picked Aldari because I want to talk about a couple different ones, a couple of different kinds of Aldari.
What a damn nerd.
I know.
What a damn nerd.
What did you do, nerd?
I did the Gene Stealer cults.
Oh, what the hell? It's not Dark Angels.
No, it's not Dark Angels.
Get off that bus.
Wow.
I mean, I'm still on that bus.
Just the bus has a Xenos infestation.
Exactly. My bus driver just has 4 arms. I don't know what you're talking about.
So,
all the better to signal that he's turning left.
So how should we do this? Should we go like round robin, pick one
robins.
each?
Yeah. Let me
because I picked 3 guns and a vehicle.
Look at you.
See, I picked 3 vehicles and a gun.
Is that what you did?
No.
You didn't. I didn't think so. Because I thought you said one of them was a vehicle, right?
One of them
I
is a
picked
vehicle.
only
Okay, cool.
knives.
You know what made my day? What really made my day was seeing the Legio Custodes models and seeing that they had a power knife. I have to say, like that, just like that weapon,
Vibro
power
knife.
It just makes my day.
Label opener of doom.
The power label opener of doom. The power camp shovel.
Strength 1 AP2.
Bang.
Unwieldy.
Strength 1 AP2 unwieldy.
All right. Well, I'm going to kick this off.
Go
if you
ahead.
guys don't
Yeah,
mind.
start.
I want to start with the vehicle because I have to say, like, you know, when it came to orcs, like my all-time favorite model that was. I mean, I think this is like going back in the day when like they really only had like very limited models. You know, like it was like a couple like metal, bikes and some buggies and stuff like that, and then they had like their plastic boys kit, and that was there wasn't a whole lot to choose from. So like when you got a vehicle, more than likely it was going to be a paper template in the White Dwarf magazine.
Nice.
So and my favorite out of that was the Gobsmasher. Do you remember that? It kind of looks like a.
I think so.
There was a vehicle in there somewhere, but mostly it was like a barrel and wheels. Somewhere there was a vehicle inside.
Nice. I like that.
And it was like, it was totally like a paper craft. It had a battle cannon on the front.
Was that a toilet paper tube?
How they do it? It might have been like a rolled up like cardboard or something like that.
Rolled
like,
up newspaper.
Yeah, or
You just swat your opponents. No.
I was using.
You can knock it off the board.
I was using G.I. Joe toys at this point. So but yeah. I think like the wheels, it was like discs, and then you had like your fantasy orc shields that you put in the hubcap.
Nice.
But it was like, I think what's that? You see in the picture?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But that was it. Like nobody had, like there was no two similar, just because you're making that shit up.
Yeah, you're literally building it.
Yeah. That's like the one I'm finding here. Like I'm looking on it and I'm like, okay, I see toothpicks. I see plastic card. I see fantasy shield, fantasy axe heads, and it does come from like one of these great times of 40K, where like no one was like, Vect doesn't have a model. That's bullshit. What am I meant to do? You're just like, oh, none of this stuff has models. Guess I'm going to make a model.
Yeah,
and
I would like a land speeder. Well, I'm done with this deodorant, so...
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Are you kidding, Phil? It's like 80s nerds. Like, oh, I need a land speeder. I'm going to go buy a tube of deodorant.
Oh, burn.
I think there was like, there was the go-to was like your bathroom trash can, and the second go-to was Zoids.
Bathroom trash can.
Yeah. So I think like one of the neat things about this was
Mom, I need another engine tube.
Hey, when's
that was a tampon joke, by the way.
When's Menses? When does Menses? I need your... Come on, Mom. Come on.
There's 2 thin tampons.
Because I need the cotton for something else.
Save the people. And you
are there any other 40K podcasts looking for their hosts?
Hey, Rob.
And you thought my patriotic music would turn people off. That's true. It was the period jokes.
Oh, man. If they aren't gone now, well, they're just as screwed up as we are, I guess.
Yeah.
So one of the cool things about this is, like, I think, like, for the earlier fluff of the orcs, I think they I mean, the idea of the feral orc has been around forever. You know, like they still talk. I mean, it's really part of like the idea of the mythos. You know, like you start off with like these. You know, and orcs will come through this planet. They'll get gotten rid of or whatever. Or maybe there's a faction that like the spores just kind of come up, and eventually it's like this feral orc tribe, and they eventually grow to the point, like culturally to the point where they are reabsorbed into like the larger orc society. But I think like that really it kind of plays in like the background a little bit more than it used to. And I think like back in the day, like the feral orcs played like more of a role in like the everyday like WoW. And so I think with the Gobsmash, part of like the idea was that like it's driven by one orc boy. There's just like a gunner, and then they have like 3 wild boys. So like you have 3 feral orcs that are kind of hanging out inside there, and like the idea is like they're trying to show the feral orcs of the sophistication and the amazement of the Gobsmash and technology. So they're kind of indoctrinating the savages of the orc society.
Yeah, it says here 3 wild boy drivers and 1 orc gunner. So I just imagine kind of you have your orc gunner attached to this battle cannon trying to shoot and be like, no, the pedal, that piece of metal, no, that's the brake, the other piece of metal. Look at what he's doing. And why do you need 3 drivers?
Yeah, exactly. It takes 3 drivers.
You like set up like, I don't know, 1 per wheel, and then the gunner has kind of 1 wheel just in case.
Yeah, they're like hamsters. They're running on the little hamster wheel.
Yeah. I was gonna say maybe it's like Flintstones technology where they're just literally the feet pushing the Gobsmacker.
Here we go. Apparently, so I'm looking at the old data sheet here from the second edition.
Okay.
The Gobsmasher may be upgraded with a twin-linked heavy bolter mounted in the hull for an additional cost of 20 points. The twin-linked heavy bolter have a 90-degree field of view. Is fired by one of the wild boys.
Oh, wow, he's upgraded.
Yeah, he's upgraded. So now you only have 2 drivers, which I think is still... I like to think that only one of them actually has control, and the other one is kind of like, you have the carts at the grocery store for kids, where they pretend that they're driving.
Yeah.
It's that, but for orcs.
I think that was also kind of cool, because like back in the first and second edition, you could affect the drivers, so it was important that they mentioned like what the drivers did. Like it was like, there were 4 orcs in there. If your vehicle got destroyed, like 4 orcs had the potential of like coming out, or like you can go in and like beat them up inside their vehicles or whatever. So there was direct impact. So anyway, that's the first one.
God, was fast too.
25 inches,
25
right?
inches, fast speed.
Yeah,
that's bombing. That's
Combat
faster
speed
than...
was 20 inches. So he's got a bunch of crazy feral orcs who found an accelerator and a steering wheel, and they're like, that way! And off they go.
And they just go flying in there and shoot their giant cannon.
Yeah. If you think about it, it's like the orc Vindicator in a lot of ways, right? Like, except it's
really
fast.
What it looks like, yeah. Oh, God, a Vindicator that moves 20 inches a turn.
Oh, my God.
Oh, please, Orc Codex.
Why not?
Yeah.
Looted Vindicators.
Yeah.
So
bring it back.
Yeah.
I like it.
So tell me about your vehicle, Philip.
Sure. So I guess the traditional Gene Stealer cult vehicle
limo
is the limo. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
I was going to talk about.
nice.
Well, I think I may have taken this a bit different because I was going to compare like the old school stuff to like the new school stuff.
Okay, yeah. It was kind of like a really quick suggestion while I was trying to do drywall. So, hey guys, pass the tape. I mean,
yeah. So I was going to say it's kind of an interesting to look at the old school Gene Stealer cult to the new school Gene Stealer cult, and you can see how they changed kind of the background of what they were. And they had like the old school vehicle that they had was the limo, was like the old school Gene Stealer cult limo.
Like gangsters.
Yeah, exactly. They were gangsters. There was like this hierarchy where like the the patriarch was like this like big dude like sitting on a throne, and it was like it was a much more as though they were from like a higher class level. It seemed to
so
be
it lives more up to like the name patriarch.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
like it seemed like they were more of the higher end, blue blood. I guess literally blue blood, perhaps.
so I didn't follow like a lot of the fluff of the Gene Stealer cult back in the day, but like nowadays, like it's usually like it's lower rung, like it's your shit of the shit. But back in the day, it was the other way around, or is it like their way of emulating the high culture?
I'm a little confused by looking at. Yeah, I know. Seriously, looking at it, it seems like it's. To me, it seemed like it was a bit more of like the higher class. I mean, like they're running around in limos. They've got like, their leader is like sitting on a throne. Like it just seems like it's a bit more of that. Like nowadays, it's the mining class, which is why the current vehicle that they have is the Goliath truck and the rock grinders, which are the same chassis. But they're supposed to be mining vehicles or like work vehicles. I guess sometimes they look like they're like fire trucks that are equipped with guns, and other times they're just like mining vehicles that are designed for transporting the workers, or the rock grinder is actually literally for grinding rocks. Okay, and then it's grinding people in the actual game, which is kind of cool.
Fuck your couch.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought it was kind of interesting. I feel like the vehicles are a big indicator of the shift from the old school Gene Stealer cult to what the new school Gene Stealer cult are, because they're no longer riding around in their thrones in their limos. They're now riding on the back of like mining equipment.
It's kind of tongue in cheek, and like the only crown they wear is from Burger King.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like the way it was described in the past was that the limos were so that the cult members could move around the like human population without being seen, and it was like, hey, holy fuck, there's a patriarch over there.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, and that kind of goes to kind of the time, like in the real world, where like you'd have like shitty government people in limos pulling up, and like or you would have like the Mask from Inspector Gadget, who's just like, or no, the Claw.
Oh, okay.
He was just like a claw like on a chair, and you never see anything apart from like this big sinister vehicle. So I think that's kind of like a product of the time, whereas now they're just kind of they're the real space communists now.
Yeah, they're coming literally from the the bottom of the hive and the bottom of the mines is where they're rising up from, because it's the only place they can not be seen in society is down in there. So I thought it was kind of, like you said, kind of a cool shift that you could see with the vehicles moving from a limo that's hiding themselves going around on the streets to jumping on the back of whatever mining equipment they've been using and then turning it into a weapon, which is kind of cool. So
interesting. And also, I guess, like, I don't remember the last time I saw like a president or prime minister in a limo. It's like now, like, was it Land Rovers or whatever?
Yeah,
Lincoln Town Cars.
Yeah.
SUVs.
So, yeah. So, but yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting, and it's all of like the weapons on there, like their seismic cannons. It's all supposed to be like hijacked work equipment that they've turned into weapons.
So do you feel that like the limo could still have a place in it?
I think so. I think so. I think it's going to be. You're not going to see like a limo plastic kit coming out.
Forge World Resin.
Forge World Resin limo. I think what you could see is people making the backstory of their cult being something like that, where they turn them into like an actual, maybe like an above ground cult like that that broke out, like maybe turn it into like a fan club for like something or whatever. I could see them making the story, forging the narrative to what they want to, and being able to run with it. Exactly, forging the limo. Exactly. I could see that. I could see people doing that, because I've seen people do some cool things. Like I saw someone's making a Gene Stealer cult army that's that they're doing them all from Fallout. So they're putting it in like the Fallout jumpsuits. Like like from
that's
the,
hot.
from the it looks really like from the vaults and stuff like that. So it looks kind of cool.
So spoilers: Gathering Storm 3 ends. Guilliman makes it to Terra. He goes to the Golden Throne. He starts walking up when this limousine pulls up outside.
Oh, what?
And then the window just slowly rolls down, and a little claw comes out and kind of goes, "Come here."
That would be fantastic.
And then it just says Finn.
Finn. And then the next page is a question mark.
Wow. So you're gonna have like this like Primarch Gene Stealer baby afterwards, like half.
That
Oh yeah, Guilliman gets infected by the Gene Stealer.
What if Guilliman is a Gene Stealer?
You don't know how he gets resurrected yet.
If this is your mind.
Interesting. Whoa.
Blown.
All over the bathroom.
Exactly.
So
All right.
for mine,
I
have spent most of this week playing a pirate game. And I'm very obsessed with this pirate game on Steam.
Yeah.
So I chose a Dark Eldar Raider.
Oh.
It's not necessarily, old or fancy or anything that you actually asked for, Ted.
I know. The moment I said something, you're like, yeah, I'm going to do something not that.
I'm going to
I sort of did it.
Participate in my way.
whatever.
But the Raiders are kind of just like your basic Dark Eldar troop transport. And then, they look super rad. They're like I said, pirate ships. You have like little helmsmen in the back and everything. But what I really like about it is that is their old pleasure yachts. From before the fall.
I didn't realize
that they then go and they retrofitted or they copied, so they added like spikes and blades and everything from it, like torture racks to hang off bits of their victims and everything. But yeah, it's a real pleasure yachts where you used to kind of like float around and I don't know, have group orgies.
So you're gonna put like
kill slaves and stuff like that. Yeah.
So you're gonna put some like bean bags and some beaded curtains on them.
See, I really want to get a Raider now and just make kind of a standard like de-knife it, just make it a standard pleasure yacht. That's what my Archeon would ride in.
That would be.
And you get those like 50-gallon like drums and write passion on the side.
Yeah.
Passion
or
lube.
get a tiny lava lamp that you can put on there.
Well, I mean, I think it's one of my favorite things about Dark Eldar is like
we just planned your hobby life.
In order for them to kind of like be eternal life, they have to get slaves and torture them, and then their pain goes to Slaanesh or however the fuck that transfer works.
Okay.
Grimdark. I mean that's how it works. But like their first idea is like, man, we have all these pleasure yachts we used to fucking. I mean, I guess we could just put a bunch of knives on them and then call it good, and now we go.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. They just strapped guns and knives on it.
So they basically gave it like the Mad Max Mad Max workings there, where they're like, we're going to take a regular car and then we're going to put like knives on it.
See, this is where like, if you had in heightened senses, you'd be great. You're like, I smell Xeno's vag. Oh shit!
God, poor space wolves. But yeah, so and it's like they're super fast. And reading about them, they really remind me of kind of the ancillary ships around Jabba's pleasure cruiser in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like like the one where Luke hatches his master plan, which really shouldn't have worked. Like it's kind of reminds me of that.
Blindly
just
backs into a guy and knocks him into the pit.
Just as planned. The Force. But yeah, so it kind of reminds me of that. So I kind of there's a part of me as well that wants to kind of build like a massive like Jabba's ship style big Dark Eldar cruiser.
Don't they have one of those?
No. Like just they have kind of a Forge World like super heavy.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about kind of like taking a side of the table
for Dark
kind
Eldar?
of having a side of your table
gotcha.
like a deployment zone be this kind of pleasure skiff, this massive pleasure skiff that like jet bikes and everything kind of fly off on to go and attack.
That'd be kind of cool.
And then in the center you have a Starlight pit.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I like it.
That could be the introduction to your Zone Mortalis. It could be like the inside of a pleasure ship.
Oh my god. I don't have enough Dark Eldar, but I could probably borrow some.
Work on it.
John, I don't think you're going to have that problem in about a month.
John, can you make that happen?
Actually, you have to slow down with the Tau.
I could maybe borrow some Dark Eldar.
There you go.
That are painted, and then maybe there's some people in there from some kind of cult that are going to be rescued because of their seed in their neck. Anyway, so yeah, that's mine. It's these like really cool, super fast, retrofitted pleasure ships.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't know, like that dirty little porn shop. You add a knife to it and make it float. There it is.
Nice.
Ted, onto the guns.
Oh, okay, onto the guns. One of my favorite has been the Hopsplat field gun.
The Hopsplat field gun.
Yeah, is this ringing a bell?
No.
Okay. So I have a couple of them, but I can't use them.
You owe me a code.
But so I think like this is kind of going back to like the fantasy, bringing fantasy into 40K. So the field gun, you used to be able to buy it with the track. So you'd buy like the war track, and it had like the gun, and it, like you drove it around, and then you dropped it off, and it became your artillery piece.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah. And but the idea was that it would fire like this bolo. So it was like these two big balls with a chain chain in between them.
Who's
But they're
got big balls.
orcs do.
Got big balls.
So they're making a fungus. So, but the bolo balls have they have little red rockets on them.
That'll never be not funny.
So
Benoit.
they're like,
Benoit balls.
so they bounce around randomly across the field and like smash into things and use the chain to slice through their enemies.
That's
That
amazing.
sounds
Yeah.
super grim darky.
Right.
So fired from a truck.
So it's I guess I don't know if you could fire from a truck, but it's like an artillery gun.
Huh.
Yeah.
So
So,
the truck-
they have
the
a
truck
track
drops it
that-
off.
Right. Like you have a war track that drops it off exactly, and then they
And it just kind of bounces. So it's like rubber bouncy balls of death.
big steel balls and red rockets. Yes. So I think like
Is amazing.
yeah, because it's kind of like the Fanatic if you think about it, like that random guy with a big steel ball like wrecking into shit, like moving randomly. But then also, yeah, I think it just like adds to that like that old orc random nature. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe it's gonna come back on you. Maybe it's gonna hit your guys.
Yeah.
You know,
That's the best thing
let's
about orcs is just
do it.
firing it out. Fanatics with chains kill
Whip
me
it
every
out.
time. Bam.
That's right.
It works because they say it works.
So that's that one. Nice and easy.
Good one.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll go with the weapon that I chose to talk about.
Yeah.
Is a weapon that was old school for a long time, and then they brought it back now with the new
bolter.
Yes, it's the bolter.
Heavy bolter.
Heavy bolter.
Very rarely used.
Flimmer.
They added rending to it.
Yeah.
Now people use it.
No, it's the Weber. The web
yeah.
weapons, the Weber guns.
Not since the days of Necromunda scene.
Yes, exactly. Like they're old school with the Necromunda. They were considered basically they were used to entrap people. So the Arbitus
Yeah.
used to use them,
Oh, okay.
and the gangs used to use it. It was meant to be to entrap like a prized
Prize.
prize,
Yeah.
yeah, like a prized person.
Like when you go to the grabbing machine at the
Exactly.
grocery store.
So it was meant to be, quote unquote, non-lethal. Except that apparently there were versions that Chaos used where they also put in like barbed proteins into the stuff that
flesh
also would
hounds.
would just like it would just like rend the person's flesh as well as like capture them up, which I thought was pretty gruesome thought process. But yeah, so the web gun. So now the Gene Stealer cult have access to them. Where it's
I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, the last time we saw them in game or in a 40k game was in Necromunda,
Yep.
which
Yeah.
is people from the Underhive
Yep.
rising up in gangs, doing that. Now we're kind of starting to see it more in our miners. There,
and I think that's kind of what they were going with it. That's why they brought it back. Was they're going more with that aesthetic where these are like they're rising up from beneath, from under the surface. So the gangers and the miners and all the people of these hive cities and these hive worlds that get ignored and get non-considered are rising up now. So they've got the weapons that they've got the machines that they were able to use down there. They've got the guns that they were able to get their hands on, the non-lethal weapons. So and in practice, the way it is, which is kind of cool, I thought, with the mechanic that they have with it, is that the AP value of the gun is whatever the strength of the target is. So if you shoot like a Space Marine with a strength 4, it's AP 4. If you shoot a a guardsman,
God, my
it's
Eldar are
strength-
screwed.
Yeah, your Eldar AP3, shooting with AP3. But if you shoot
wow.
someone who's strength 7 or more, or a vehicle, it's AP dash because
Okay.
it's not AP anything at that
I
point.
just
So-
imagine this one little cultist shooting a web gun at a tank.
Yeah.
Ha ha!
exactly. As it just keeps rolling over him.
Yeah, their glory, man.
Exactly.
Oh, jeez.
So I thought that was it's kind of a cool concept where it's like, because, and I think the idea behind that is that the stronger you are, the more you're able to resist these clawing, like sticky stuff that's holding you there. So I thought it was a kind of a cool mechanic that they had to do that. But it's bringing back the old school weapon now, and being used again. You can see it here.
I think like one of the issues, like why they're doing stuff like that, is like, I mean, the idea of like the miner, like they're poor, they don't have a whole lot of like access to inventory, so they're having to go to previous editions to find the guns. Like secondhand IP.
They have to get their weapons from the previous editions that they can find at a used bookstore.
I really should have played my communist music during this. It's rousing Stalin-esque music.
Yeah.
All I can afford is the 40k compendium.
Yeah, all I can use is I actually can't afford 7th edition rules, so I'm just going to use the Necromunda rulebook that I was able to find as a free download PDF. Thank you.
And then okay, here comes a skyhammer formation. Ooh, what's a skyhammer formation?
What's a skyhammer? That sounds interesting.
And dead.
Is it a flying hammer?
Kind of. Yeah. And by hammer, I mean no. Okay, so I decided to talk about a Harlequin's kiss because the first time I played against Harlequins was against my friend Colin.
And he kissed you?
And he was like, okay, now we're
It's part of the game, I swear.
It's part of the mechanics.
Well, we were
Your
sitting
hand
there,
is in my
we're
pants.
playing, and then, of course, I was uber aggressive because I didn't know Harlequins murder everything in close combat.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, a Harlequin's caress, a Harlequin's kiss. And I'm like, dude, are you attacking me or are you trying to make out with me? What the hell's going on? And so I wanted to kind of...
Yes?
Yes to both. So I wanted to kind of find a little bit more about what that was.
Yeah.
So a Harlequin's kiss.
Quiz?
It's kind of like...
Harlequin's quiz?
It's attached to the forearm. It's like a long tube that kind of sticks past it.
Yeah, it is.
It's... You know it. It contains a monofilament wire, which is the same thing in the warp spider guns. It's the same thing in kind of the Skatach Wraith Knight guns. And what it does is when you punch forward, like, it shoots out. When it penetrates the armor, it then expands and shoots out. And it contains... what's this right here? It contains a tightly coiled retractable monofilament wire. It's violently released and it uncoils around bones and it liquefies bones and internal organs and stuff around it. So if it shoots you in the arm there, it pierces through the skin, wraps around a bone, the monofilament wire liquefies your arm bone, and then it just kind of goes back in the gun.
Nice.
So it shoots out again.
I remember somebody like describing it to me a long time ago as being like it shoots in and it turns your insides like a blender.
Yeah.
Is that kind of...
That's what the monofilament wire does.
Okay,
Yeah, it just goes in and it blenderizes your insides. That's so
Just a bag of shit afterwards.
That's as grimdark, I think, as it comes. Holy
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's no good place to be hit by that. If you're hitting the leg, like, oh, God, my bone's liquefied. That's terrifying and painful. If you're hitting the chest, oh, my God, my insides are liquefied. That's terrible. And so it's a really, really nasty way to go.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of like, I love the irony. It's called the kiss.
Yeah.
The Harlequin's like, suddenly Harlequins. So yeah, that's it. And it kind of the wire goes back in and can keep on being used. So, you know, spreading disease.
Yeah.
Sharing monofilament wire.
These blankets, we brought
Luckily,
them over from
everyone
Europe.
It's good. It's a good thing they're setting up like monofilament exchange programs where you can bring in your old wires and get them replaced by new ones.
We can't use monofilament on this battlefield because of the UV light. So yeah, that's it for my monofilament wires.
That's all.
Yeah, that's definitely like
so
always
nasty.
like
Yeah,
the
super nasty.
the backstory of that weapon. It's
Yeah.
just been like, I don't know, just nasty.
Ugh,
Just,
gross.
Yeah, a wire that makes your insides into a blender.
Jello. Yuck.
What would happen to your insides? So if you were shot in the chest and your insides are liquefied,
Yeah,
where would they go?
I think.
Would they leak out your mouth?
I imagine you fall over dead,
Or would
and
it
then
kind
they
of
just
leak
kinda,
out
like,
the
stay
whole?
there.
Well, yeah, because I guess your spine would be liquefied.
Everything.
too.
Well, I mean, you're
Okay, so imagine it shoots through, liquefies your spine,
Yeah.
causing your midsection to collapse and having all of your organs kind of bounce on each. Yeah, it's a
it's
gross way to go.
goo.
yeah, that's wrong.
Episode 45 will be called "Don't Listen While Eating."
Gonna follow this up like Grey's Anatomy. Like, what exactly? What's the physics of blending a person's insides?
Will it blend?
Yeah.
Astra Militarum smoothie.
Yeah. Oh, gross.
All right, so I got the next one, the squig catapult.
Love these.
Yeah,
Love these.
I think it's technically still in the book because it could be considered a laba.
Yeah.
But I think like the squig catapult had so much more than just like a laba. It wasn't just a mortar. Like it was. It was basically you look like.
Didn't it literally just drop squigs in people's back line?
Right, and so it would exactly they would load it up with buzzer squigs, they'd fling them across, and then the buzzer squigs would like it had a base of squigs, and they would run around like after the enemies and eventually disappear as they like dispersed, and eventually like they were no longer a horde of squigs.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But the idea was that, like, this was another one of those, like, feral orc things. And so when they were like, all right, bring in the feral orcs and all their weird little toys. And they had this, and I think, like, in a way, like, the technology behind this, even though it's, like, a basic-ass catapult.
Yeah.
Like they designed it to be like these lightweight frames, and they would all the feral orcs would like run into the battlefield, quickly assemble their catapult, and there it was. So I think there was like, it wasn't just slabs of like random ass metal. There was a cohesive idea, and the fucking feral orcs of all people did it. It was like, whoa.
Yeah, we're just gonna throw this pile of animals over there into those people. They seem pretty pissed off. So sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, like the construction of the catapult was pretty advanced if you look at it that way. But like what it ended up doing wasn't.
Was it a trebuchet?
It might have been. So then we have this forward backward spinning thing.
Just the orcs like, ooh, trebuchet.
After the battle, they can also put pumpkins on it and just see how far they could heave them, and then make YouTube videos of it.
For $5 donations to the Orc Wah, you can put a pumpkin in and shoot at your enemy. But also, there would be, like most orc weapons, there would be mishaps. So you might accidentally lose a Gretchen. You might accidentally drop the buzzer squigs on yourself. It might explode. So
not enough orc guns nowadays have mishaps.
No,
like I feel orc artillery, especially, should be high risk, high reward.
Yeah, I mean, you have like gets hot, but
you can fire that. But I feel orc gets hot should like go to a table.
Yes.
of things that can happen.
Yeah.
And like a 6, which would be the best result, would be literally just a got hot. And then everything else would be terrible, but awesome.
Down to a 1 where it just melts in on itself.
Because I've never fired a shock attack gun.
Yeah.
I'd be like super sad that my big mech got transported into combat instead of shooting things. I've also been like, yeah, let's go.
You have to think ahead of time and actually give him a close combat weapon.
Yeah, I do that.
I feel like
he might fly across the battlefield.
One of the earlier games that me and Ted played, he had his shock attack gun, and he, I think it was a shock attack gun.
Yeah.
When he shot, he shot Belial and 5 like Deathwing Knights, and just made them disappear in like the first shot. And I was like, well, that's not great. And he's like, all right, I'm going to shoot this next one. Oh. He's dead. Okay. Well, that was weirdly bipolar there.
And orcs.
Yeah, and orcs.
Yeah, as all orc stuff should be, man. And that's some of the character. I mean, oh god, I'm going tabletop now, and I said I wouldn't, but that's what the character is missing of the tabletop orcs right now. Is they're a lower tier army. They're not great power, but there's no character to them anymore.
Yeah,
they've been neutered.
I think like
you talking about all these fucking awesome weapons, it makes me pissed off because I'm like, no, there's so much history you can go back to, so much backstory.
Yeah.
If you gave me a catapult that shot squigs and you're like, oh, but yeah, it's only AP like 4. I'm like, I don't give a shit. It's a catapult that shoots squigs. Make it 15 points.
I think it's hella awesome, and that is definitely it. Like you're absolutely right. Like I think like although what I would love to see is like more orc players like bringing all these like quirky ass things. Like all right, I just brought 1 squig catapult. I could bring up to 5. I'm just going to bring 1 because I'm going to have to roll on a table, and I want you to watch the table. And then over here I have this like hop splat gun. You have to watch all the effects for that. Like I want to see the people that are just like,
wait.
All right, I'm out of this game. I'm out of this game. You win.
I want more tables than demons.
Yeah.
Greater and lesser orc gifts, please.
You're already moving like 5 times as many models as the other guy, and then on top of that, you're like you get to roll on like all the tables.
And I want lesser orc gifts to be negative to my army.
Yes.
Like if you get like a bad lesser orc gift for your warlord, all of your other independent characters try and shoot at him at least once during the game.
That would be sweet.
Because the biggest and the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. If you roll like an 11 as your gift, like
you have to take a leadership test every turn, and if you fail, one of your lieutenants shoots at you.
yeah, and you have to name another guy as your warlord. So it doesn't count as a warlord kill,
That'd be
but you lose that
badass.
warlord model.
Remember, like, was it Fantasy Orcs? Like when they had that thing where the I think it was the animosity, right?
Yeah.
Like they could fight amongst each other just because.
Yeah, if you got them too close to each other, they would literally try and charge each other. Sometimes if you really fucked up.
Yeah.
God,
Why not?
See, it's character to an orc army.
I think
That's crazy,
that would
right?
be cool. If you fail the leadership test, then you
Another
remove the
orc?
model, and the closest independent character becomes your new.
And the only way you get warlord off of an orc army is if you killed all of the independent characters.
Oh, that'd be great.
Sort of like the Alpha Legion.
Yeah.
Trait. Yeah.
So does that mean like every time you lose an IC, like you get to roll on the warlord table again? That would be
Well,
awesome.
then you would just have to make your please hire us, Games Workshop. We have good ideas in this here. Then your warlord table.
I've been secretly emailing them, asking them for just that.
Your
Have
orc
it-
warlord table would just be army-wide buffs, and it wouldn't
Yeah.
be if your warlord was alive. It's just like your army is this, your army is that.
Yeah.
Super simple.
Okay.
Man, Phil,
Okay. Yes.
You don't have a codex that needs fixed. What you got?
No, I don't. So my next, what I wanted to talk about next was the heavy rock insert other name for the close combat weapons for the GC calls that they have here. Yes,
the heavy rock tinder.
Andy rock tinder. No, they've got like the cutter, the drill, and the saw, and basically they're just like they're badass, badass weapons that are or tools that were being used while they're mining that they just picked it up. So it's sort of like if they
turned on the masters.
They just turned on the masters, and they just turned around, and that's what they use. So they're running around with like the tools that they were using to cut rocks, and now they're trying to cut people. So I just think it's kind of cool. Like
the heavy rock headlamp.
Yeah, exactly. I just think it's the reason the main theme that I'm going with this is just the interesting how the weapons were chosen to be so thematic to what they're doing with the narrative of the army that has them.
This army more than most.
More than most. Like you see it in the aesthetic of the models. You also see it just in the narrative of the weapons that they have access to. It's all of the lower tier weapons that you would be able to infiltrate as a cult without being really without being caught. You know what I mean? Like you don't see them. They're not able to take a Thunderhawk because an Astartes would probably know if suddenly their tech marine had 4 arms. Like they would understand that something is awry. You know what I mean? And but maybe this guy who just like looks like he may have had a birth defect in his face could somehow become the sergeant of a planetary defense force. So now suddenly you have access to the Chimera that he hijacked once.
Or the guy who always wears a hat.
The guy who always wears a hat and a face mask because he's worried about the quote unquote dust in the air, Or it's the guys that are working down in the mine. You don't see them anyway because you don't give a shit. Because I imagine in the grim dark future, there's no such thing as OSHA, so they don't have to come back up and take a break. They don't have to worry about making sure that they're safe down there. As long as they're sending up rocks, we don't care what they do.
Like the day's casualty report, and this guy lost an arm. This guy lost an arm. This guy gained 2. Yeah, it's net the same.
Yeah, so, it's like Steve lost an arm. Didn't he lose an arm the last 3 weeks? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. This is just what I got here. It's like, all right,
he's grown over 7 foot tall with a hump, but he must be stronger now, so that's fine.
I think it's just strength. He's really keeping up with the quota down there, so we're gonna keep him down there.
You're gonna see the Excel spreadsheets. Yeah. As long as the arm amounts stay the same per.
It's like each worker is allowed to lose 2 arms, no more.
20 workers, than that, 40 arms.
That's all that matters. We need to go send in a.
Then you just
have
like
safety
your
officer,
crotch-mounted rock drills, and you're like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh man,
yeah. So I just think it's kind of cool. Like they have different things. Like they've got like the rock cutters have snip. So that it's just like it basically is just like cutting off people like parts of people's bodies. The rock drill has pulverized where it just like where it can if you hit and it's resolved it like you could basically smash with it. So it's like strength 10 AP1 that you can have because you're just like drilling through the hull of a vehicle with it. Or you have like the rock saw which is just basically a saw. So you get armor bane with it going down. It's just kind of cool.
It's like a chain fist.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a chain fist. It's like a cool thematic story though. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. So
yeah. So my second weapon is very close to my heart after my LVO army.
Yeah?
It is a shuriken catapult.
Oh, I thought it was going to be sock with soap in it.
No, that's my third. Thanks for ruining that.
And when you go to LVO, it's very important to carry with you at all times.
So put a rope in a sock. But no, it's kind of the synonymous unit or gun for the Eldar army as being their shuriken weapons.
Yeah.
They fire tiny shurikens, sure. But something I learned about this was these guns are actually grown and made out of wraithbone, which is the same stuff they used to make the craft worlds. It's the same stuff they used to make wraith knights with. So it's kind of a natural thing, and they understand like, that's why there's no metal ones ever, or there shouldn't really be metal ones because it's all like kind of a natural thing. And because it's made out of this wraithbone, it has a psychic connection to its user.
Whoa!
So they can fire it with their mind. Or they can make the clip fall out with their mind.
Wow.
When they just kind of think it. So, I mean, hell, if somebody's like, man, I'm really pissed at Steve. I wish he was dead. Oh, fuck.
Steve's dead.
Steve's dead, yeah. So I thought that was, like, super cool.
That'd be tragic if your roommate had, like, night terrors.
And something else was said about them is these bone singers, they can make them look however they want. Like, we're going to make this kind of look like that. last gun over there.
Well, it's weird that they make them all look the same then. Yeah. As though they're in a mold or something.
Well, everything but that one mold is hidden behind one sealed door. So, so hopefully,
it shouldn't be hard to open it.
Yeah. But I really like that idea, and then also the kind of the forethought of the Eldar in that as well. They do have like manual fire buttons and everything because of a time they went to a planet and they were fighting in an area where there was like a psychic dead zone. So they're we can't psychic.
Or if they go up against like the Tyranids or something like that.
Oh yeah, Shadows of the Warp. Stop them firing their guns.
That would be interesting.
I couldn't find the power button on my TV.
Yeah,
but it's nice because if I was ever psychically like removed from my TV remote, then I'd be able to find. I wonder how that goes. Like, I mean,
but yeah, and it's these guns are made by.
It made a lot of sense to the conversation.
Yeah,
but the guns are made by bone singers. Yeah, and it's described as like bone singers who have already done kind of the warrior's path and done that
Tom
training.
Jones.
Yeah. And they sing to make the sword or the guns grow.
To shoot you in the head.
Not really.
Okay,
but
like Doctor Strange.
So they've already done the warrior's path, and I think that's really cool because they know what works and what doesn't, and what would be cool features and what isn't.
Okay.
And they kind of work their way in kind of magic, and that's a really respected artisanal trait is making these fantastic guns. And so it's just more than firing little bone shirking catapults. It's firing them mine bullets.
But something come on, Eldar, find a new material. God, is everything got to be wraith bone?
Cereal.
Fine, make metal scatter lasers.
Jesus. So I was reading something up on the shuriken rifles, and I think that what those little shuriken, aren't they like a monomolecular width or something like that? Like it's
super thin,
right?
So, and that's kind of. I think I can't remember the Eldar word for the ammunition or the guns, but it translates roughly to storm of blades, which spoilers, the rule's called blade storm. So like they are like razor thin, so there is always a chance that they kind of just go straight on through armor or bounce off. I'm guessing it's going to be depending on angle. Just because the way that the shuriken stars are. But yeah, it's very it's Eldar, very deadly weapons that are made from bones.
They're a lot like Tyranids, really. It comes down to it. Part and parcel.
Goddamn Xenos.
Yeah. All their organic weapons.
Purge them all.
What's that Xenos face sword?
But yeah, exactly.
So secretly, the Gene Stealer cult infiltrated the Eldar crafters long time ago.
Actually, the Xenos face sword looks a lot like the metal one. So, the metal Xenos. So
metal.
Yeah.
Face sword.
Xenos.
Ooh. So Ted, your next weapon. Your last weapon. Yeah.
My last weapon, and it's almost like not a weapon, but it is a weapon.
Why don't you pull me back down memory lane so I can remember happier times?
Pulsar rockets.
Oh, those are.
Remember pulsar rockets?
So before you start,
I don't.
Just to say how much I enjoy pulsar rockets.
Yeah.
I almost bought one on eBay, even though there is no way to proxy the model for anything in 40K.
Lava. It's a lava
For $70.
Oh. 70?
Yeah, I almost bought it too because it was unassembled, unpainted.
Oh, I have like half a dozen of them.
They're so good. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm stealing your thunder.
So no,
Great choice.
You stealing my thunder makes it sound as though my choices are good.
No one's trying to steal my thunder. Damn it!
I don't know what stupid ass forearm miners.
Fair enough.
So the pulsar rocket was like this. It was a force field that they stuck with, and each one of them is different. I think like in APOC they have like a pulsar rocket, but then they had like the metal one from like first and second edition, and so they depended. It varied in size, but yeah, I think that little one
that looks cool AF.
So they would launch them. They would launch them out, and there's a force field generator in them. They would hit the ground, and the force field generator would randomly activate, and so like it wasn't like a stable force field, and so it'd start to like push things out and bring things in, and so it started to mess with gravity and reality. And so like a lot of times, I think in the older rules, like it created like this no man's zone. It kind of shoved everything out, and like it's just like, all right, you can't go in here, and it's a random distance.
Games Workshop, please add this in a new Or Codex. If you could make a null zone from like pulsar rockets on the table, that would be so good. Or if you were to push drop pods off of the table with a pulsar rocket.
Yes.
Oh, God.
You're all castled up there, huh? Well, your vehicle just got field crafted.
Shove the artillery like past the Aegis defense line, so it's not just out in the open.
So that was the idea. It was just like you threw it out there, and it randomly went off, and it had like different sizes, and sometimes you would like build to a crescendo, and then all of a sudden it would just like one last kaboom and move everything out, and then that was it.
Oh, jeez.
So,
Gotcha. So were these like one shot things then?
they were one shot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at John.
Oh, is it in that codex?
I believe it's
you have the second edition codex.
Second edition or codex, 50 points.
Nice.
But God, I wish.
So
it
not
was...
one use only. You were saying, or yes, one use.
I think it's a one use only. Yeah.
So you got tractor cannon, smasher gun, squig catapult, splatter cannon, pulsar rocket.
There we go. Ooh, a table.
Yeah.
John is happy.
Ooh, back to the tables. Make tables great again.
Okay, so
what do you see?
Here we go. It's always fun to hear me read rules.
Yeah.
The rocket flies in a straight line ahead
Hey,
when it's
can you do us a
fired.
favor real quick?
Yeah.
Can you do it in a Scottish accent?
No.
Oh, okay.
To see how far it travels, the player rolls a number of d6s equal to the number he chose, adds up the total, then adds a further 12 to the score, and that is how far the rocket goes. So, for example, if the player opts for an average flight time and nominates 5, the rocket will travel 12 plus 5d6 before the pulsar is released. The pulsar generator is placed directly in front of the rocket launcher, the distance indicated by the dice. The crew does not need line of sight. It assumed they're being signaled locations. No, they're not. Pulsar generator starts to build up energy as soon as it lands. The blade spin. Roll 2d6. If the result is a range, the result is a range of the pulse in inches. If you roll a total of 7, for example, everything within 7 inches, and everything is affected differently. So terrain.
Oh, it actually affects terrain?
Any building, trees, rocks, walls, hedges, or similar features within the affected area are knocked down on a roll of 4 or more. Bunkers or similarly well-built fortifications are knocked down on a roll of a 6. Any model standing in or on the structure that is knocked down will be destroyed. Bikes and other vehicles. The vehicle is spun around to face in a random direction and will move out of control this turn. The vehicle may not shoot. Dreadnoughts, they get leg damage. Support weapons. The crew are knocked over. The weapon is spun in a random direction. Use the scatter dice to determine the new direction the model may not move or shoot this turn. Food troopers. The model's knocked over must spend the rest of the turn standing up. Place model inside instead of the model may not move or attack this turn.
Wow.
That is amazing. Like, literally, I feel you could translate that right to the game, apart from maybe just like an auto pen hit on buildings.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And then this was also, I think, like back in the day when facing, you didn't get automatic facing.
Yeah, facing.
So that really mattered. Like now you had to spend your turn like moving your.
But if
whatever.
you were to fire a pulsar rocket and it lands and it radiates out, and you say make Phil's bike squad have to go 12 inches that away
in a random direction.
Yeah. That could either work out really good or really bad. Yeah, I love that. That's amazing. So sorry, I had to be like super rude and go grab the book, but I'm like, dude, I love pulsar rockets.
Yeah.
Like one of my earliest orc memories is reading an old White Dwarf where they had a battle report between orcs and someone else. But yeah, they're using
That's an interesting race. I haven't heard of that.
Yeah.
It's really it's Slaanesh.
My wife's heard of them.
Oh, wow.
Not really. But no, and it was like the first Gazgul battle report. So like before he even had rules, really, it was super.
Was it the before he had armor?
I think so.
Yeah, Gazgul.
It was just Andy Chambers' creation. But yeah, dude, I love that. Chills.
Nice.
Follow that.
Yeah. So las pistols are cool.
Yeah, exactly. I do have a second edition Tyranid Codex.
Yeah. I was just going to go on to the ranged weapons that they talk about with the mining stuff. I kind of just had like a theme that I was going with, and I feel like it doesn't add up to making John get physically excited about weapons.
Make orcs great again. Oh god!
You should have been faster on the claiming the race thing. I was pick orcs. You'll make John happy.
I would have picked orcs
next time.
Really?
So many good guns removed.
Oh yeah.
So I was just going to talk about like the ranged weapons that they have, like the mining lasers and the and like the demolition charges and all of these different things that are designed to be, again, just like the tools that they were using to use it, and then they just make them into weapons that they can assault the people around them. They're trying to take over. And it's kind of interesting when you look at it that like the mining laser is essentially just like a really short ranged las cannon, because in reality, the las cannon would be really good at knocking out rocks inside of a mine.
They are brutal as well.
Super brutal.
I don't see las cannons being used a whole lot, but yeah, I mean those mining lasers.
Yeah, las cannons definitely get used if you put them on my tanks.
But... Oh well, yeah. I guess. I mean,
handheld stuff. Yeah, seriously. So it's kind of interesting to know that.
Is the mining laser heavy or assault or what?
It's a heavy weapon.
Okay.
It's strength 9 AP2, so it's like a las cannon. But its range is the regular mining laser is 24, and then the heavy one is 36. Oh, so still a bit short, like a foot shorter, I guess, than a las cannon for the heavy one. But But
I just love this idea of just like the miners working. They're shift for the day ending, and kind of they're the masters, and the going, come on, let's you guys are stopping, you're not even done yet.
Yeah.
And then just turning around and turning all of these in like weapons, and just unsuspecting planetary lords and everything just.
Yep, the call goes, and it's like
track 5.
Rise up,
Murder.
That's the sound of las murder. But it's just like super cool to think about these guys. Like they're just working during the day, and then all of a sudden, like the call comes out, and it's like now, and everyone just picks up whatever they've got next to them, and they just attack everybody.
I like to imagine
cool.
the Gene Stealer cult meetings are like urban churches where it's all singing and clapping. Because they have multiple arms, so they have lots of clapping to do.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that being very interesting. Yeah, that's track 8 now, I guess.
Yeah, that's Gene Stealer cult organ music.
So I guess I kind of just went with the theme of cool, fluffy weapons that they've been given with the ability to kill people.
Yeah.
So, how about you with your Yanari?
No, I'm not. It's Eldar again.
Eldar.
The D cannon. One of my favorite weapons, I think I would have to say, just because of how scummily I can spam it on the tabletop. But the distort cannon, and reading through like kind of the description of what it actually
distort
is.
Cannon?
That's what it stands for.
I thought it was destroyer cannon.
Distortion
cannon. Distortion cannon or distort cannon.
What?
I know.
Ooh.
I actually learned something today.
What it
other
does.
than John's actual physical reaction to orc weapons.
Oh my god. Make orcs great again. I will literally buy every single orc model that comes out, regardless of whether I play
You do
them or
anyway.
not. Yeah, I do anyway.
So distortion cannon, sorry.
So it's because of kind of the bulk of it, and because it has to have like a small warp engine attached to it. It's usually a weapons platform or a Wraith Knight that's attached to there. But what it does is it shoots a little pocket of the warp. So it picks a point, it fires, and then at that point a warp space opens up and drags everyone there into it. Whoa. Which led me to Google, can you survive in warp space? Because I just have this image of like this battle. Say the Eldar are taking on Space Marines, and my Wraith Guard come, and they just fire their D flamers, and then kind of say maybe take out a Space Marine squad, and then smash cut to the warp of just this squad of Space Marines kind of float in there and be like, well, fuck. Because it doesn't seem to, and for demons as well, it wouldn't really kill them. It would just really mildly irritate them because they'd be like, no, go home.
Yeah.
We're not injured, but go home.
Or they just get like sucked into the warp, and they're like, "Well, what do we do now?" And then they just get hit by a transport that's going through the warp. Like,
so I mean that's
so it'd be really dangerous to be hit right around Terra.
Yeah, exactly.
Like things are going in now, or the eye of the.
So that it kind of really reminded me of a shock attack gun, and kind of that thing where the shock attack gun, it opens a little warp portal at one end and the other. Whereas this just kind of fires a ball of warp, and then everything. I imagine it being almost like a black hole.
Yeah.
Where things and people kind of get sucked around in it.
Yeah,
vortex is
that is kind of interesting because like I think like the way I've seen the warp used in story is that like you go into the warp and then it's kind of like, are there warp beasts? Are there demons? Are there things over there that are going to destroy you? Are like when you're transported into it, do you come through translate perfectly? And so like it's like two different things. I think so. The D cannon aside, like I think that's kind of how it is. Like you go in, you more than likely are going to survive up to the point where you go in successfully, and then you get attacked by like those astral hounds and like everything else, and then you come out, and if you survive the going in, then you get the going out, and while you're there, then you're fine. But it seems like tabletop wise, it's a lot more dangerous than like the stories would indicate. Going to warp.
From because I did research this a bunch because I'm like, wow, if you're moving them all, did they just kind of survive there, or what happens? If you replace the word warp with ocean, it makes entirely more sense to me.
Really?
So, like, your ships enter the ocean, and these are dangerous waters that they're navigating through, and they need kind of like the Astronomicon to kind of tell where they're going.
Okay.
And so that, to me, that's what the warp is. It's kind of like a tumultuous ocean, like Pirates of the Caribbean style. We have like krakens over here. Like, here be monsters, and there actually is really big fuck off monsters.
Yeah,
and I'm sure there's little calm pockets as well where there isn't anything for a while. But yeah, being stranded in a warp, I feel, would be like stranded at sea without a boat anywhere. So you're gonna die eventually, but it's gonna be very, very slowly.
It'd be interesting to see like a squad of Space Marines that get stuck in there, and they just, until they run out of weapons, just start shooting all of the warp beasts.
Yeah,
just like trying to take them out as they're.
And then the gods come and try and turn them.
Yeah,
slowly.
Yeah. But wasn't that the case with the 13th Company or whatever for the Space Wolves, that they were kind of like lost in the warp, and so like they survived ish.
They ran in after Russ.
Yeah. So
then,
but
TBD.
they're back.
and then turn into Wolfen, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can, and then when you come out, you look amazing. Yeah. So it actually works out for you.
You've got great hair.
Yes. Your mane is wonderful.
You don't need power armor, complete power armor.
What I really want to know is, because I love to visualize like how stuff looks, what does a distortion blast look like? Mm-hmm. What does like a distortion flamer look like? Is it kind of like, I almost imagine it kind of like flowing out like hair underwater, it was just kind of like wispy, wavy, kind of really slowly shooting out. I think that would be the creepiest way, but I mean, I don't know what it would look like. I think it would be kind of a cop out if you did like a Terminator 2 style bubble with like lightning and stuff touching it. That's too obvious. I think something like really fluid and slow. And again, it's now because I view all of the warp as an ocean.
Yeah, that might be distorting your view on that.
But yeah, it's
no. Hey, I didn't actually mean that, but I'll take it anyway.
But yeah, so I mean, it's honestly for me one of the big things about it is like, what does that gun look like? I want to say, and honestly, if it's like just a stupid ball with lightning coming out of it, I'm going to be really disappointed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
that's neat.
Yeah.
I mean, because I always kind of envisioned the D cannon. Like, I mean, that's something I like.
It's essentially a random transporter.
Yeah, but I mean, you basically have a gateway in a way, like that's happening. So, I always kind of envisioned it as like that little black gate, that pops open, and we have like movies and comics and everything else that have illustrated that gate. But I never really thought about like the flamer though. Like that's like a whole different level of gate, because it's not just like this point that happens. It's like this whole area, this swath of teardrop, or like if you're moving it, it's like
expands out. So it's like just almost like this area of warp space that you're putting into the real world and then getting rid of. It's just
I could sort of see it with that. Maybe it reaches out, grabs, and then pulls back in.
Oh, maybe
and like contracts them back into the warp. That'd be
super creepy hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Grabbing. I can see that. That would be. See, I don't know if Eldar, or when they're like so scared of demons and all that
tendrils
stuff,
of the warp, like reaching out.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they give them to the Wraith Guard, because aren't those like dead ones anyway?
Oh,
well, yeah,
Aren't
but
those
then
just
I have
constructs?
D cannons and weapons platforms and
Guardians.
Well, yeah,
of
but that
Manium.
like shoots it away. I'm saying like that's why they give the D sides to just the constructs. Because it's like we're not getting anywhere near that. We'll give it to like the dead guys.
But I would think that I would just not want to have anything to do with it at all.
Yeah.
I would just like let's just stay away from that. Like let's stick with our like Harlequin kisses.
Yeah, let's stick with our monofilament wires.
Yes,
instead of these gateways to where Slaanesh lives.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, but yeah, that would be, I guess, the final weapon. But like I said, it just the visual of that is just amazing to me, because it's like just real slow, like say ghosts escaping guns and grabbing people in.
Oh yeah.
I just imagine it being super slow and creepy and silent.
Yeah,
very silent.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be interesting, because I mean, sound is going to go in there and it's going to get trapped. Like it's going to. I don't know.
So could you imagine? Okay, so this force approaching you, and as it gets closer, everything starts to get quiet, and then as it envelops you, your sight starts to go, and you hear muffling, and then your sound just goes away completely. And then when your sight comes back, you're just in the middle of this warp storm, in the middle of like nowhere, and you don't know where you are.
Yeah,
that's creepy.
Yeah.
Then there's a bunch of guys and they look like wolves sitting there smoking.
Yeah.
What's up?
And you have
seen our Primarch?
You have Guardsman Bob over there who wasn't fully hit by the blast, so he's missing like a third of his upper body.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
That's probably it. Is like it's not that they're being transported back. It's like you're not exactly taking the whole guy. You're teleporting part of them into the.
Maybe it just like grabs like random bits and pieces and sucks it in.
Yeah, it's a terrible way to die. So it's a perfect weapon for 40k.
Yeah, super grim dark.
As are all of our weapons as I knock down some stuff on the counter. Yeah.
Nice.
I like that.
Cool.
Right.
Well done, guys. All right.
Yeah. All right.
back.
Well, that was a successful session.
Gynecomastia is a myth, and so is gout. Ever met somebody with gout? I thought so. Why do we know much about these? Because we are soy. It is our job to know about your body. What we do know is, soy is a complete protein that can replace animal protein. It is a great dietary fiber, and can reduce your LDL and triglycerides. We also know that if you develop man boobs, it is not our fault. It is your dad's. Soy milk. It's not as bad as they say.
And we're back.
Hey.
We're done.
So we were just talking during the break, like we kind of noticed that it was almost 2 hours.
Another long one. Holy cow.
So
You're welcome.
So let's dedicate this to Dave Singer.
Yeah, you're welcome, Dave.
This is you, Dave.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
This one goes out to you.
And for everyone who turned off hours ago. No.
As long as they downloaded it, right?
Yeah. As long as yes, please just download it. And then
Over and over again.
the more people who download, the closer we get to me ruining this with paid ads. No, not really. I already ruined it. But yeah,
It'll only enhance it.
I learned a lot of good lessons today. I learned that I want orcs to be great again
Yes.
so badly.
It's funny because
badly.
I see you like leave the orcs like immediately, like, you know, when you see like the new thing, you're like oh my god, the Eldar. What? Not to say that like you're bandwagon hopping, but like a new thing to you. Like you see this thing and you're like, oh, I need that.
He gets
but
an
then
idea
like
in his head and he runs through
but
it.
then every once in a while we're like John Orcs, and like so like something deep down in your soul just like reverberates when you see that. It's exciting.
My play group is a very competitive play group.
Because you don't play with me.
Very, like very competitive. And Phil, I think you'll agree. Kind of the tournament scene up here is very, very competitive.
Yeah, the competitive scene, the competitive scene is very competitive.
To the point where
I know that sounds like it, but I mean, like it's like
all right.
to the point where I took a mostly jet bike Eldar list with a Wraith Knight and Warp Hunters and everything else, and I went 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw. And that was entirely because I also took a Plasma Obliterator, which was a huge point sink, and I shouldn't have taken it. But like that goes to show how kind of competitive it was. And there's only so many times and you're like, wow, yeah, great, I had fun. Yeah, you know, like, and you know, your game ends turn 1 or turn 2 or something like that, and then you have to kind of look at doing other stuff. But then it's still me, so I still look at their.
You could hang out with people outside the tournament scene.
you could record and publish 2 battles every single week,
or you could play to have fun.
I cannot even. I just realized that my Eisenhorn autoplays stopped going last week, so I'm a week behind. But I will get back. So I need to finish that game. I actually bought the Eisenhorn trilogy.
It is so good.
But I had to buy it second hand for a ridiculous price because they don't make the actual omnibus anymore.
Oh no, but they sell the
individuals.
Yeah,
I got it cheaper than the individuals, but
okay.
still, for me, for a second-hand book, ridiculous.
I'm in it.
I also
like books,
bought. I also bought the Death Watch book. That's out in paperback now, so it's a little cheaper. Was it the
I don't know,
Overcharge or something like that? Overkill? No,
Death
Overbite.
Underkill.
Yeah,
I think it's probably Overkill.
Yeah, is it just Overkill? Was what it was called,
Maybe.
or something?
That's what the box set was. Death Watch Overkill.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the box set. It was a book that came along with that. But yeah, I picked that book up
Get your
too.
Shadow Storm or your Shadow Sword.
Yeah,
that's potentially coming up. I haven't heard from Gab, but maybe it's not coming up.
Yeah, but so like I said, I still got super into kind of the background of Eldar and the armies and stuff like that, and kind of because I need to have a reason that everything's coming together. Because it's great that I throw out kind of Warp Hunters but why is everything there? Like I have my jet bikes. But I'm not going to have many foot troops with jet bikes because that wouldn't make much sense.
See, I kind of went into this a little bit in the video I put out today, or when we're recording this today.
Well, this is the closing session, so go ahead, plug your shit.
Well, I mean, whatever. I'm the Glacial Geek.
He's an amazing photographer that's much better than you, so don't ever critique his shit.
My photography skills are huge.
But he does not approve of those Boy Scout photos.
But what I was saying is in the video when I was talking about how to really kind of grasp all that this hobby has. I feel like you should be doing fluff and competitive, to really, because it's like one of the few hobbies and endeavors that allows you to do both to large extremes, and I was saying the same, like when I build a list for a tournament, I make a list to be very difficult. I want to win with it, and I want to beat my enemies, But at the same time, I also want it to be fun and cool. So I chose my list from the armies that I think are fun and cool. So I have my Dark Angels that also run as Ultramarines, but I like the Marine aesthetic. So I'm going to make a Marine army. I'm not just going to go out and buy the
orcs.
hotness and
okay,
I'm just going to buy orcs and lose like a bunch of losers. It's weak. Yeah. It's so weak. No, I go out and I run with the armies that I think are cool, and then from there I try to make a list that I think will be extremely good at a tournament with that. And and when I put the models on the table, they're not just, it's not just, oh, this is my toughness 5 piece of plastic. This is, I think of it being, this is my, this is my sergeant that's running into the hail of fire there. Yeah. And I get that, that sense of awesome narrative play, even when I'm playing a competitive game. So sort of like John was saying, which is, I feel like, that's the way I find that balance, where it's like I'm trying to be competitive. I want to win, but at the same time, I want this game to be more than just putting down a piece on a game board.
So my new list is kind of like you have a small Eldar kind of reconnaissance force. Yeah, there's a Wraith Knight there because it's a Wraith Knight. You can still kind of like
Wraith Knights can do reconnaissance.
They're very stealthy, but but like kind of this small reconnaissance force, and then like Ultramarines can appear out of nowhere, or in this case, Imperial Fists. They kind of come down, do their own thing. They didn't know that was there. Mm-hmm. And then out of all this trouble, the Elfway Strike Force is like, oh shit, I better go help them and also paint all my jetpacks red because I'm not repainting my jetpacks. But,
See, this was, I think, like one of the things, I'm trying to come up with a way of running Legion of the Damned. Yeah. Like, I really want to do a Legion of the Damned army. I have to finish putting the model. I was hoping to get them done by this weekend, but I think with like all the things going on, it's just not going to happen. But, like trying to come up with a fluffy thing that justifies Legion of the Damned. And like, all right, well, like rules-wise, I could put down Knights because they'll stick around long enough for Legion of the Damned to show up. But then why the hell would like little foot sloggers show up to save large titans?
They're coming to save an Imperial relic that the Knights were not seeing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they're so high up.
They come in great times of need, and you don't know why they're there, just that they are there.
Hey, in the Fall of Cadia,
they just hung out with the Imperial Fist doing fucking nothing.
they were around, even though there were Titans there.
See, I've really enjoyed the story of Fall of Cadia, but apart from the fact that the Legion of the Damned showed up in the Phalanx and just hung out.
Oh, okay.
Like, they literally say in the book, there's like, and then they did not disappear. Meanwhile, back on Cadia, like, oh,
just chilling, dog.
Just chilling.
So but I think it'd be cool. I think you can do that.
Yeah,
I think it'd be fun.
But just doing scouts and having them like, what the hell are all these Eldar? And then all of a sudden they show up and then they still die. Yeah, because Legion of the Damned.
Going for that Legion of the Damned primary.
There we go.
Look at all these guys. Oh, we just got shurikened as though we didn't have 3+ invulnerable save.
That's right. If you are an ITC tournament player, check out the rankings. Team AKTC, our local tournament circuit.
Yeah.
By forcing all of our local players to be one giant team. We're like 4th, I think, in the international rankings for teams. So Alaska representing.
I'm actually number 10 in Dark Angels players in the country right now.
Wow. Damn. I am not a good Eldar player, so we're going to leave that at that.
Well, I think the season just started though. Too.
Yeah. I mean,
it's only one tournament.
That's why I'm 10. Okay. Let's be honest.
That's not why. But it is.
I'm number 1 and not involved yet.
You will be.
I know.
Hey, Ted's coming to a tournament this weekend.
I know.
Yeah,
excited. Jackson's going to be in California. So.
All
right.
It's you. Follow us on Twitter, Phil. You want to?
Oh yes.
Yeah, because you can say this now because you sent out 4 tweets.
Yeah,
you twitted
at Glacial Geek. I'm on the tweets now.
On the Twitters.
I'm on the Twitters. I'm a tweeting. So I just started up there. But you can also check us out. You can check out the Mob Rules Facebook page. So facebook.com/ Mob Rules AK. Also have facebook.com / Glacial Geek. So you can check out both of those if you want some added content on there, throwing up some cool pictures, some cool stories. You've got Ted usually posts a bunch of really cool stuff up on there. So that's pretty cool.
Follow me on Twitter at MobRulesJohn for complaints. Not really. Humorous ramblings of the modern world of Warhammers.
Quote unquote humorous.
Funnier than your humor, but
if you're in the Alaska area, I got an art show at Middle Way Cafe starting in April. So there's 2 months.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What is your theme?
It's going to be vintage toys. And there'll be lots of paintings of vintage toys and childhood whatchamajigs.
Nice.
Whatever whatchamajig is.
I
That's
love
a technical
watching
term.
Yeah.
love whatchamajig.
It's kind of sad. I got this show. It was like it was kind of a weird fluke. I've been asking the curator for it, and like they started booking him out like well in advance. And she was like, "Well, okay, 2018." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I just didn't get back to her.
Hey, gives you
like
time to prep.
A few weeks later, like I talked to her, or I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll take the 2018 show." And she's like, "Oh, we booked up to 2020 already." I'm like, "Oh crap!"
Holy shit.
And like, you know,
Are you serious? The middleweight?
Yeah. Well, they have a really nice spot. Like, it might be just a cafe, but like the walls are amazing. And there's a lot of visibility. Like everybody in town goes through there.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy that they would book out to 2020.
Yeah, I think like of non-gallery spots, like I've sold more stuff through there than anywhere else. But yeah, so I was kind of bummed. Like, all right, well, yeah, like I could really plan a show. I might actually have good artwork by then. But then, like, I think a few weeks later, she's like, "Hey, you want a show in April?" This is just recently. Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." She's like, "Yeah, the person that had it died."
Oh,
just like I just found out about
waiting from '97.
Her art is worth so much more now.
Right?
Holy shit, that sucks.
Yeah,
well, I mean, for them, not for you.
It's weird.
It's pretty good for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Like, there's like a comedy that came out a while ago. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was like this girl who she would always
Weekend at Bernie's.
No.
Was it Weekend at Bernie's 2?
No, yes, it was. But it was like this.
That was the one.
It was this gal that kept winning pageants because she would come in number 2, and then like the lady, like the first, like the contestant would like die, or her arms would get broken, or like she fell off and like scorched her hair, or something. Like it was always like something tragic, and she would end up. I don't remember what it was.
I love that.
Like
I love the reduction of severity there. She dies or breaks her arm or burns her hair.
Yeah, it could have gone the other way around.
All will eliminate you from number 1 in a pageant, though.
You burnt your hair. Get out.
Yes. Get out of here. The curlers specifically said 30 minutes, not 45.
Oh man.
Yeah, so
so follow us on YouTube, youtubes.com/c/mobrulesmedia, youtube.com/c/glacial geek, the glacial geek.
Yeah.
Twitter mobrulesjohn, Twitter glacial geek,
Facebook.com/mobrulesak.
We're gonna just have to redo the intro or the outro.
We have so much more. We're all over the social media.
Yeah. We are literally
you
everywhere.
guys are. I'm in a cafe in Alaska.
Catch us on Waze.
Read my Yelp reviews.
Jeez. See my naked stuff on Snapchat.
We're gonna be back in 2 weeks. Perfect thing to listen to on your way to Adepticon.
Yay!
Or I guess while you're at Adepticon,
Yeah.
right? Because it's going to come out during Adepticon.
Right.
Oh man, our numbers are gonna be awful for that.
Oh jeez.
Or they're going to be fantastic.
They did really good. Like when we were in LVO, we skyrocketed.
Ted,
so thank you all for listening to us.
Yeah.
Do that.
I don't know what we're gonna do yet. We'll do something.
Yeah,
fun.
we'll figure it out.
We'll
I mean,
figure it
it'll
out.
be like the layup to Adepticon. We can talk more about that. So basically, we could just like take the first half of this episode and then just repeat it.
Yeah. And then
auto content.
I'll probably want to waffle a little bit about Gathering Storm 3.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Because I think by then the new box set will be out, so we can talk about the Primarch.
Yep, Primarch. Oh, I like that. That's clever.
Primarch. Look at this guy.
Primarch.
Look at this guy. I was punning all day, and then he comes in with that winner at the end.
Wow, I don't think there's a better
All
thing
buttered.
to finish on than Primarch.
Primarch is the winner. That was
Primarch.
good.
Oh man,
Damn, Ted,
So-
you're rolling your eyes, but that is something to be proud of.
that is good.
I would put that on a
Oh.
plaque.
I'm gonna sleep tonight after that.
Our next episode will be called Primarch.
Yes. Oh yes.
Primarch for McCragg.
All right, I'm gonna go away.
Okay, so for Mob Rules, I've been John,
I'm Ted.
I'm Phil.
and we're gone.
This episode of Mob Rules has been brought to you by Mob Rules Media. Please join our Facebook group to be part of the conversation at facebook.com/mobrulesak. You can also email us at themob@tophat-arts.com. Thanks for checking us out, and we will see you in 2 weeks.